2, 1. And we're live.
Ooh, wowie. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Trophy Room pre-show. I'm your host, Joseph. Alongside me, the greatest co-host, whoever is, whoever will be, Mr. Kyle Stevenson. Please say hi.
Hi.
Hi. And special guest. I think, is this the first guest of the year, Kyle? It's been a minute.
Ooh.
I honestly don't know.
Is it weird that it's like already 3 months of this year have gone by?
No. You've had guests fill in for me.
Right. But like the
But
first
as
third chair.
Third chair, I don't think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, this might be it.
Yeah, the first third chair of
Oh my
the year.
gosh. I'm
Kami,
honored.
what's up, man? How's it going?
Nice to meet you guys. How's it going? Happy to be here.
Man, I'm doing fantastic. I've been getting, because I need anxiety meds real bad. I've been getting anxiety now before the shows, and I have no idea why. We've literally done 300 plus of these. I have nothing to prove anymore. What
Never
is
goes away, huh?
it? Yeah, I guess. I guess it's like the pre-show jitters, but I have no idea. I don't know. Something
Yeah.
ain't right. I'm gonna fix it. I've been exercising more, humble brag. So I like the anxiety starting to get lessened, but it's been it's been weird. I don't know. This year's been
Yeah.
odd.
This is my
Uh,
podcast debut, so
Listen,
I'm feeling it too.
you're good. Don't worry. You're gonna be great. And listen, the first thing we're gonna do in our little pre-show as we wait for people to come on in is we're gonna test your gaming skills by showing you obscure images.
Uh-oh.
And we have to guess what they are.
So far, we've been on a good roll.
Yeah.
Shout out to Silkana in chat, who usually helps us out with the really hard ones and the obscure ones. But
So much.
this one, I am feeling right off the bat because I am seeing, I don't know if you guys can see this, the word tasty in graffiti.
Okay.
I feel like that's a Rage 2 thing.
Ooh.
Mm.
Okay.
Because I feel like they had like the bright neon graffiti, like
Right.
advertising and marketing. I didn't get far in it.
That's fair. It kind of looks like to me Watch Dogs 2.
Oh. With the lights
What
you're
do you
talking
think?
about? Like the
Yeah, the lights. And just because of the like obscure like graffiti of like tasty. Sounds
Okay.
like something.
Okay.
Watch Dogs is a
Someone-
good guess.
Let's go
Yeah.
Watch Dogs then. We'll go 2. It's not Watch Dogs. Oh,
It's not
cool.
Watch Dogs.
This is great. This is this is exactly the next screenshot we want to see.
Yeah, no, this is exactly what I wanted.
So
You
it's
kidding me?
a well-received game. 87 on
An
Metacritic.
87.
Is this a Nintendo input? Like the C-stick arrow?
Maybe like GameCube?
Ooh.
Something
That's
like
a good one.
Is it
Yeah, because like
GameCube?
the wires are a little
Yeah.
polygony. I don't know.
Yeah, it's
Chat,
not
help
really-
us out. We already need help.
It's not
Well,
really too helpful.
Let's skip it and get a new one because this screenshot's awful.
Yeah, it's awful.
Switch. Okay.
Okay.
I think it's that game.
Astral Blade.
I was gonna say
Yes.
Astral Chain.
Astral Chain,
Yes.
thank you.
Yes, that's my guess.
Mm-hmm.
I saw a clip of it the other day, and I'm like, man, if only this came to PlayStation. This
Boom.
looks...
There we go. 1 for 1.
Nice.
Kami, coming in for the save.
Let's go.
Immediately. Let's do it. This game looks fucking cool.
Yeah, they need to bring that to other platforms.
Pronto.
Mm-hmm.
Pronto.
Hey, Doug Bowser, where are you at?
Come on, dude. Everybody's
Oh,
doing it.
What a great screenshot this is. A couch
The
outside.
sofa.
A sofa outside.
Why did my first thought go Far Cry 4? Like in Montana.
I
Good
mean,
guess. I was gonna say Hello Neighbor.
Ooh.
let's do
I don't
Kami's
know.
guess.
Yeah.
I like
Hello
that.
Neighbor. I like that. 2 or 1?
Let's do 2, because 2 is in the news because it went to PlayStation Plus.
Okay. It is not.
Damn it.
68.
That was a good guess, though.
Okay, 68 Metacritic, huh?
Definitely a spoopy game I'm
Mm.
getting. This looks like not.
Definitely spoopy. Definitely spooky.
I got it.
Okay, what is it?
It's PT. Damn.
Wait, what?
PC,
PC,
PS5.
PS5, and mobile. What?
I feel like I should know this game. It's definitely an indie.
There's lava for some reason.
Is that lava?
Yeah, right? That's lava,
I thought
right?
it was just leaves. Yeah, that looks like a
Looks
volcano.
molten. Yeah, that looks molten.
I have no idea.
I have no idea.
This one's all you.
I'm gonna take a stab at it.
All right.
I think it's called The Gardens Between. Nope. Oh, it's Goat Simulator,
Oh, wow.
Okay.
right?
Okay. I'm. It looks
'Cause look at
stupid
this.
enough.
Look at this shenanigans.
Exactly. The fuckery's on, at foot here.
But it's here's the question.
Okay.
First one or the third one, because there's no second one.
The third one, because that sounds
Oh, yeah.
dumb
Yeah.
enough.
Boom, there it is.
Wow.
Kami, I sent you in the Discord DM.
Look at it. I didn't know you could be a
Sounds good.
shark.
So they're just like whatever animal. We don't even care anymore.
All right, cool.
That's how much this matters. So okay,
Hey, chat, you remember
Is-
that game Maneater? That was a good game.
so good.
It was fun.
I'll go to bat for Maneater. Okay, what's this next one?
Oh, come on.
This is the Mario.
Are you sure?
Right? Looks like Mario.
Are you sure?
I mean,
Oh, it wasn't Goat Simulator?
No, it was Goat Simulator.
oh no,
You got
yeah,
it
we're
right.
on the
Yeah,
next
Oh,
one.
okay.
Sorry. Yeah. I don't know.
What's that one shark game? For this one?
For this one.
Maneater?
No. That was just a game I was shouting
Yeah.
out because there was
Oh,
a
okay.
shark at the end of the. Yeah, see, Hida has what I thought. I thought this was the OG Donkey Kong.
Yeah, that's what I thought this would be.
Yeah, but you said Mario. It's not a Mario game. It's a Donkey
Oh,
Kong.
sorry. That's what. Is it really?
Yeah. Unless I'm mistaken, feel free to yell at me.
I mean, I feel like I think you.
Yeah.
Definitely looks like Mario.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
Donkey Kong.
Oh, also, this one is Kyle has it on the chat because you may be delayed, so it may be in our Discord chat. You get to see it in real time. All right,
Okay.
next one, Kyle.
4 more. Let's keep the streak up. Oh. I got it. I'll wait.
Are you on a roll?
I got it.
Well, what is it? What do you think it
I
is?
don't know. I'll let you guys take a look and
Oh man. Okay.
don't look at chat.
How
though.
recent? How recent are these games?
They
Oh.
span all of video games.
Yeah.
I will
Okay.
say what I think this screenshot is came out last year.
I was gonna say Cocoon.
That is what I think it is.
Okay.
All right, let's do
Played
it.
a little bit of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, same. I still need to go back to it. I was gonna say Jasant, so can it? I
yeah,
was.
Cocoon, baby.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Yeah, it was really good from what I played.
Cocoon's
so,
great.
So good.
It's a good platinum trophy too.
Yeah.
Nice.
Is it just like, hey, just play the game?
To play the game. I mean, you have to like uncover like the little hidden figures, I think, but it's not like hard.
Okay.
As long as you're exploring the world, you should be able to get it.
Maybe I'll do that tomorrow.
Hey. Okay.
All right. Now we're cooking with gas here. What is this?
Are we?
Yeah, now we're cooking with gas.
Hello, Cinderloo. What up, Dewani? Hida.
What up?
Suddy. Still Silkanet, Fuji. Wow, look at all the people in chat. We love you very much. Thank you for coming and
Thank you
hanging out.
Yeah, thank you. Again, this is just a pre-show too, and I'm already stumped. I like these because it makes me use my brain power early. You
Mhm.
know, gets me warmed up.
I'm gonna skip
For
it.
sure.
I've got nothing.
Okay, I got nothing too. This is a little.
Do you have something, Kami?
Yeah, I don't know what this one is.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Okay, 78.
78. Oh.
Hmm.
Could it be? What's that? What's
Is
the?
it Eastward?
Go for it. Let's try.
That's a
Eastward.
good guess.
I
Yeah.
didn't play it. I thought it looked awesome though.
I was
thinking
gonna say
the one-
Undertale, but that's definitely higher than 78.
Mm. Yeah. Nope, it's not
No,
Eastward.
it's for Switch.
It's Switch. I'm gonna be a big dum dum.
Yeah,
Oh no, never
no,
mind.
it's good.
Stardew came everywhere. I was about to say, is this Stardew? Because I didn't play
Nisa says
Stardew.
Harvest Moon.
Yeah.
Harvest Moon?
I don't
Oh,
know
boy.
Nintendo, so this is gonna mess me up.
Hmm.
I mean,
No,
and
this
the
can't
cool
be.
thing about this, Kami, is if we pick a IP like Harvest Moon that has multiple entries, if it's within that IP, it will yellow it so it knows we're on the right track. We just got to pick the right one.
I think it's
Okay.
that one Konami RPG. But yeah, let's do Harvest Moon. Let's just get it.
Are you thinking
Konami.
of Suikoden or something like that?
Yes.
That
Okay,
was
that is a Switch game, I think.
that was like old school PlayStation though.
But wasn't there just a port?
I
Oh,
think
wait,
there was
no,
a
this
port
is-
recently. I don't know if it was just Switch though, but I think there was a
I
port
think
recently.
if it was though, it would have
Yeah,
the other
it would say it.
platforms.
You're right. You're right. Okay.
Oh, ooh, Two Pad Sack in chat might has a good guess. Is this Golf Story
Oh,
Oh, that's a good one.
let's do it.
or Sports Story? One of the two.
Let's see.
Did we get the Metacritic? Okay.
78.
Yeah, I think it's at 78.
It's Golf Story. Hey.
Wow.
Nice.
Oh, look at us.
Two
Look at
Pad
chat.
Stack. Nice job.
Oh my
What
god.
up, Jadis?
What up?
I have a copy of this game, limited run, sealed.
Yeah. Oh.
It's one of the rarest ones.
Oh, is it really?
Mm-hmm. It's one of the earlier ones.
Hey
Nice.
Jadis, I have a question for you.
No.
What's this?
Game GPT took over. Shit.
Whoa. Why? Oh, I gotta read? Kyle, can you read this out loud for me?
Good day to you. My name is Guess the Game GPT. I've taken over today's Guess the Game. You'll have to ask me questions to figure out what today's game is. You may not know the name of the game, but do not give up. You'll be able to figure it out from my hints if you're smart, or feel free to do outside research. Here are some things to know. 1. This game has never been featured as a daily game before. Well, there's 688 entries. Guess the game. What are we talking about? Number 2, the name of today's game might be one word or multiple words. Cool. Great. Thanks. Good luck. I suggest your first question should be asking me, what is today's game? I feel like that's a trap.
Kyle, can I just say something? Can we skip this one? I don't
No.
want to be.
No.
I don't want to. I'm not Siri. It's Siri. I don't like that. I don't like it trying to.
If we
Flip
fail
it on
this
me.
one, I am okay if we fail this one. I don't want to ask it any questions. I just want to guess a game.
All right, go for it.
Use the 6, just guess a game. Because this is a riddle, I'm going to go Stanley Parable.
Okay.
It's got
That was
those
the
kind
most-
of vibes.
That was the most unhelpful clue ever, by the way.
Right.
Yeah, no. Okay, that's definitely not it.
Okay. Fucking ask it. Ask it what today's.
What
game
is today's game? You
I hate using this. And then say idiot.
I'm not telling you. Haha. Shut up. Let's do
Say
what
Siri.
platforms?
Okay.
Almighty PC, specifically if you're a fan of Windows, but let's not forget it also runs on the Mac as well. Quite the cozy setup for the dramatic narrative adventure, eh?
Windows and Mac, huh?
Oh, Dewani, this is the April Fool's one. That's why.
What?
What was that?
God.
Oh, I feel like it's in the Video Game Hall of Fame. The
You guessed
text-based
Stanley
adventure.
Parable?
Yeah, we guessed Stanley Parable.
Okay.
The OG text-based adventure game. Was it like Zork or something? Zorp?
Ask the Metacritic. Ask what the Metacritic
Ooh.
is.
Yeah, I like that. And then Dewani, I'll ask yours.
Yes, Dewani, this is good.
So you want to know the Metacritic score? Did you say please when you
It's
asked?
so
Shut up.
smug.
I'm not sure you did. Oh well, not everyone can be as nice as me. The Metacritic score is 82.
Okay.
Not bad.
Ask for a screen grab.
So Metacritic is fairly recent. Because we've had games in the 90s that didn't have a score.
Right. You're right.
So what is a PC only game?
In a narrative base.
Ooh.
I feel like this would
Okay.
be up your alley, but
We got 2 good questions in chat. I'm gonna go with was it Dewani earlier for screenshot? Yeah. Can you show us a
don't even ask. Just demand it.
screenshot,
It's the robot.
dumbass?
There you go. Oh no, it's gonna show us a
Uh-oh.
picture of an ass.
Don't curse. Shut up.
No swear words allowed.
Can I
Oh.
please
There you go.
screen grab?
Watch it fucking senses the sarcasm.
Yeah. I cannot generate or provide images. Imagine
Skip
the
it.
scene you're insisting I describe. Now draw it in the style of
Hate it.
claymation with crayons, bake in the oven. Voila. Mysterious and compelling visual novel, but alas in the forms of words only.
I'm gonna need at least a decade, man.
Yeah,
Right?
right? When did it release?
God, if it's smug again, I'm walking.
April 1st, 2023?
Really?
April Fool's last year?
This is gonna be some like
Wait a
relatively
second.
unknown indie
Wait a
game,
second.
probably.
If anybody knows indies, it's this guy. He's gonna crack the case.
I don't know if it was last April Fool's. But there is a visual novel game where Sonic gets killed.
Do it.
Oh, I know what you're talking
I
about.
don't know what the name of it is, though.
Chat. What's the name of the Sonic murder?
It's like, oh, the murder of Sonic the Hedgehog.
There
It
you
was
go.
literally an April Fool's game.
Hey!
Nice.
There we go.
All right.
Oh yeah, he's
You
on
thought
it.
you got us,
Suck it.
computer? You thought you got us, machine? Yeah, that's right.
Oh no, my circuits are not programmed to receive or process commands of that nature. Shut up.
Shut up. You don't tell me. Okay, one last one, then we get to the show.
All right.
Do this. Bloodborne.
I mean,
Bloodborne.
Uh,
Thief?
Assassin's. Oh,
Ooh.
okay. I was gonna say Assassin's Creed.
Assassin's
Black
Creed's
Flag,
not bad either.
but I like Thief.
Let's go Black Flag.
Okay.
Okay, caps lock. It's
No, I like that. Keep it.
70%. Okay,
70.
now I definitely think it might be Thief.
Okay, check it out.
Son of a bitch. Hey, it is Thief.
Oh my god, nice, man.
I don't know what's
I
going on.
would
with the
never
caps
have
lock. I have no idea.
Oh,
I think I got this with. Was this a launch game on PS4?
Yep.
Around that time, I think I got it with my console and did not play too much of it.
I need to play that.
Did it?
all right,
oh,
Kyle, you ready to do this?
I guess so.
Ooh, Kami, you ready to do this?
Let's do it, man.
All right.
Okay,
Let's get
hold
to
on,
the
hold
show,
on,
Kyle.
hold on.
No
I
pressure.
gotta move some things around. Chat, I'm sorry. Please hold. Okay, the stream went great. Okay. All right, chat, we will see you exactly in 16 seconds.
Oh, wait. Your greatness has arrived. Welcome to episode 370 of The Trophy Room, a PlayStation podcast made by the players for the players. I'm your host, Joseph, aka Mr. Badbit, and it is here where me and my best friend Kyle talk about the latest, the greatest in all things PlayStation. Of course, this week we are chatting about a potential May showcase. KOTOR Remake is alive and well, unlike Luke Skywalker. Oh, damn you, Kyle, for writing this in, you son of a gun. Dead Cells Maker is developing a new Prince of Persia game. Kyle has a heart-to-heart with Sony San Diego Studios and so much more as we do it live each and every Wednesday night over at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on youtube.com/PS Trophy Room and audio services the very day after. With all that said, all that out of the way, greatest co-host, whoever will be, Mr. Kyle Stevenson. How are you, sir?
It's been a week.
Yeah?
It's been a week. I want to start off before we get to our lovely guest in a second and intro him. Just want to thank everyone for the well wishes for Owen's surgery last week. Everything went great.
How'd it
He's
go?
still recovering. Finally
good,
started
good.
talking today. He had his tonsils out, so it's been and he's only 2, so it's been rough. He very much like pointing at everything, and we just kind of have to figure it out what he wants or needs.
Fair.
But he's feeling better. I asked for a little bit more positive vibes tomorrow. Kylie goes in for double knee surgery, so it's great. I had the stomach bug over the weekend. I got promoted today at work. It's been an eventful week.
Say, when are you gonna get to the good news? This is...
On the bright side.
Exactly. Yeah, I am now an account manager over at Vicarious PR. I'm very excited.
Yes. Yes.
I'll get mushy probably at a later time, but it's
Okay.
just to think back when we talked previously, Joe, on the show, and everyone knows, and anything that I ever do, talk about how badly I wanted to work in games at some point, no matter what it was, and feeling like I was stuck in teaching, and then being unemployed, finding an office job, getting laid off, and then all that struggle. It feels really good. So I'm going to take this win. I'm going to ride the high, but I am super drained. And also, I would like to just, paint a picture for everyone about Joe here. Okay? Yeah. This happened before you came on, Kami. I was saying, like, hey, tomorrow, Kylie has surgery, so it's going to be, tough day tomorrow, just thinking about her and whatnot. And Joe looks at me through the screen, through his camera, and goes, "Who is that?" I literally talk about my nieces all the time, and she's named after me. What is the matter with you?
Okay, listen.
Oh, no.
This guy trying to test our friendship off the gate. When you talk about the girls, it's usually in the preface, like, pretext, the girls. So, like, I know of them. I don't know,
Joe, we've known each other for 7 or 8 years at this point.
Yeah. Yes.
It started out so wholesome.
I know.
Right?
Yeah.
No, now,
I'm sorry
what's
to
my
bring
mother?
you into this, Kami, by the way.
What's my mother's name?
Oh, wait,
Exactly.
no, I know this. My memory's terrible. I know this. Come back to me.
You got this. Please don't, or else it's gonna prove how bad of a friend I am. So I need you to just
Mariel.
close.
I'm close though, right?
Yeah, close. It's Miriam.
Miriam. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Can I tell you a funny story
course.
of my mother? 'Cause I talked to her because like she finally is getting the hint. I got like, you may need to go on ADHD meds. She's a little sporadic and all over the place. And I go, Mom, you're not your brain is not supposed to be on all the time. Like you're not supposed to be bombarded with like all these thoughts at once. You shouldn't be so forgetful. You shouldn't be. And then she just cuts me off and she goes, and the strange images. And I'm like, sorry, what? So that was me and my mom today. That was me and Miriam, Mrs. Badbit, Kyle.
I was close.
Anyway. Tommy, how are you, my friend? Special guest of the show for the first time this year, our first third chair. How's it going, man? How are you doing?
Doing well, man. How are you guys? Happy to be here.
I'm sorry you had to, witness Kyle and I fight. We spat every now and again. We don't.
Oh, no, I know you guys are good friends, so
Well,
I
Tommy,
just stay out of
listen.
it.
For give everybody a quick, who you are, what do you do, all that spiel. Who is Kami? Why should I be following them on the socials and medias?
Yeah, so I basically mostly do social media. I've been doing it for a few years now. I cover gaming news, things like that. I try to review games as much as possible, and I am sort of dipping into content creation, YouTube, streaming, that kind of thing. So, yeah, I've been a big fan of the podcast for a long time, so happy to be here today.
Awesome.
You got a nice setup back there too, by the way.
Right? It's nice.
Is that
We're working
Wild
on
Hearts behind you?
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Nice.
They sent that to me last year, so.
That's awesome.
Look at you making it. And yeah, no, I follow you. I've been following you for years on Twitter. And I think after Rest in Peace Colonial went, I think you kind of just took his place almost immediate for me. And like, you've been my go-to, here's my little Twitter breakdown guy. So, I always want to try to reach out to folks who I think are doing great work, and kind of just bring them on. I don't necessarily care about the setup. I just want to hear voices that I don't hear on the regular and people that I think do great work, which I think obviously you do. And so it was like a no-brainer. I was like, once you started getting into YouTube, once you started getting into the content creation gang, I was like, all right, it's time. Let's bring them on. Let's talk PlayStation. Let's talk, more importantly, video games like we're doing here this week. Before we get to it, though, Kyle, you have a rant. and it is PlayStation related.
I do.
And for the starter question, you just said microtransactions.
Yeah.
So-
It's a broader topic.
Okay.
I feel like we touched on it briefly with like Dragon's Dogma 2 stuff.
Mhm.
But we were at PAX that week, and so I don't know fully if we got into it last week.
Fair.
Sony San Diego Studios. Let me get on my soapbox here for a second. No one is. What was that flash? I'm so sorry. There was a flash in the hallway. I don't know what's happening. They're coming for me.
Yeah, it's the flash grenade. Diego heard.
When I mean, no one's a bigger fan of MLB The Show than I am. I love that game to pieces. I play it each and every year. I platinum it every single year. I put hundreds upon hours upon it. It is the best feeling sports game out there, bar none. Madden is awful. NBA 2K has hits or misses, but MLB year in, year out feels awesome on the gameplay side of things. This year, I love what you're doing when it comes to, the power grind and not having everyone have beefy lineups from the get-go. But what they're doing is they're giving us free programs where we can grind out packs, we can grind out new players, new cards for free. You just got to do things in-game. But in addition, they are putting packs in the show shop that have better cards for that program. So you're not even getting the best cards by doing the program, but you would have to spend real money, and the amount of in-game money currency you get, which are called stubs, does not equal enough to grab one of those packs. So this year it feels kind of scummy, and I don't love it. Like, you can defeat anyone in a game, no matter who's in your lineup, but like, give us the good things. Like, give us the good cards and whatnot. And I know it's not needed, but all the exciting ones are locked behind a microtransaction this year. Where in years past, in the same program, you would get all the cards for free. There was no money-based pack thing.
Now, question for you, Kyle.
Yeah.
You're a Mets fan, are you not?
Yes, I am. Terrible start to the season.
So you're used to losing, so this should be fine.
Kami, what are your thoughts on microtransactions?
Well, I don't have too much experience with MLB The Show, so I'll leave that to you guys. But
sure, yeah, I just mean like in general when it comes to like games that have things in them that are like more than just cosmetics, but like actually help out gameplay wise.
I mean, if it's gameplay wise, I would say, especially for like a $70 game, that can sometimes be a bit much in my opinion.
Yeah.
As far as like card packs and things like that, I mean, people seem to be fine with them, especially when it comes to like NBA 2K, MLB The Show.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I'm no stranger.
I personally wouldn't buy them.
Yeah, I mean, I'm, the kettle. What was it? The kettle calling it black, whatever the saying is. I don't know. But like, I'm prone to buy them from time to time because I get caught up in the fervor. But this year is just all the good cards are tied to things behind a paywall.
Hot calling the kettle black.
Thank you. Hey.
There it is. Look at that. My brain works sometimes. For me, like in the case of like Dragon's Dogma, like what Kami was alluding to, it's tricky because you don't necessarily need to go out there and buy, fast travel points. But when a game is purposeful in its like attempt to make it so that like fast travel isn't the thing that you want to do, I understand why people could be outraged. But at the same exact time, like Dragon's Dogma 1 and 2 in terms of like fast travel is pretty much the same, and not a lot of people had a problem with that. So to me, it really does depend. If it feels like they're trying to nickel and dime you, if it feels like it's pay to win, that's a problem. But if it's just an option, then that's totally fine with me.
I'm just asking for a good balance. That's all I'm asking.
Yeah. Like, I'll go out there, I'll spend $20 for a Lady Gaga in Fortnite. But I'm not gonna go out there and like pay for a Lady Gaga to shoot faster than my Deadpool.
Sure.
You know?
Yeah. That's fair.
That's what I have problems with. So yeah, I do feel like that one feels a little bit even like insidious in a way. Because it gives you the illusion of like you could do this, but in actuality you can't.
Yeah.
Another good one, Helldivers. I think has
Helldivers
terrific
is great.
battle pass, situation.
Yep.
But that said, all right.
Thank you for letting me rant, everybody.
That's fair.
Appreciate it.
Hey, I appreciate you, bud. And Kylie.
What's her twin sister's name?
It's time for a little bit of housekeeping. Time. If you like what we do, you want to help support the show any which way you can, head on over to the Trophy Room merch store. We got merch, baby. Get yourself some cups. Get yourself some shirts. Support the show. Look good doing it. Also, our By the Players community game show this month. It's Hi-Fi Rush on April 28th at 2:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All community members are invited. We need more folks for this one, so please come on in. I know it's been like a very packed month of games, but if you played it last year, if you're playing it right now, come on in, join the fun. Last week was The Last of Us, by the players. This month, it's, Hi-Fi Rush. So come in, join us, talk to me, talk to Kyle, talk to Marcus O'Neill, talk to Drellish. Everybody's invited. Head on over. That said, last but not least, it's time for our Patreon pitch. Of course, like we say each and every week, the reason why we sound so good, look so great, is because of your generosity over at patreon.com/PS Trophy Room. If you ever got you through a long car ride, a tough day at work, God knows I've been having a lot of those lately. Whatever your situation may be, it really does help, even if it's just a buck our way over at patreon.com/PS Trophy Room. It helps to keep the lights on. This month, we got a lot of podcast services that are up for us, bills that we got to pay. So it really does help us out any penny. That said, I want to thank our newest members, Max Grandal at the bronze tier. Now, that last name is, I'm pretty sure, has to be a From Software related boss. Like, that's a last name I'd walk up to in an Elden Ring.
Grandal?
I'd walk up.
Max Grandal?
Grandal. Yeah, Grandal.
I get it.
Destroyer. So please become a silver member, because I want to say that every week. Amaze at the gold tier. I want to thank our premium members, Todd Burowitz and Toxic. I want to thank our platinum members, Jay Shea, Jedi Master, and Cowboy Danger D, Jonas Young, the Green Gorilla Gamer, Chaotic Monkey, Ryuko Kill 90, Stephen Flesh, Strubles and Bits, Bertos Maximus, Chris, Hybrid 748, Matt Valdez, Silcanet, Desamine, Jadis Von Metal, Mitchell Gramlin, and Randy Hale. I want to thank our gold members, Cypher Primus, Doth Simon the Pie Man, Jesse Garcia, JB the Purple Monkey, Hayden Doyce, Katie got a new job, and spoiler alert, she's loving it. Kevin Mitchell, Kevin Diaz, Marcus O'Neill, Red Arrow, the Aegis Hermit, Androzor, Astronaut Jr., The Winter Gamer, Robbie Bobby Miller, Brenton Zachary, Captain Logan, Final Fan XE, Hambone, JD Dillinger, Stone Cold ET, Tino Sixspeed, and Johnson, Sean McKenzie, Rick Arrington, Spam and Bam, and Matthew King, the Overlord, Dewane Roxa, Drellish, Rick Davis, Steph Midler, Samuel Nestling, Maximum Carnage, Solo, and the Lord Commander Sunny. Thank you all so much for what you do and for your patronage each and every month. Thank you all so very much. And that said, Kyle, I'm out of breath. The list keeps getting bigger and bigger, but the news remains the same. It's time to square up the news.
First bit of news that needs to be squared up comes from Tom Ivan over at VGC, and Tom writes, Sony is planning a PlayStation showcase next month, it's claimed. That's according to Giant Bomb's Jeff Grubb, who said today he's heard, quote, a bunch of times, end quote, that either a PlayStation showcase or State of Play will take place in May. Following the news that Konami's Silent Hill 2 remake has been classified by the ESRB, Grubb said he's expecting the game to appear at the PlayStation event when it could receive a release date. Quote, I have heard that there will be a PlayStation something, either State of Play or a showcase next month in May, so this is probably going to be there, he said. I've heard both a showcase and maybe a State of Play, Grubb added. It seems like it might lean towards the showcase. It's definitely in that time frame of when they did the showcase last year, end quote.
Okay, and then this normally wouldn't be, I mean, it's like clockwork, right? Like, and the March rolls around, we get rumblings that there's a PlayStation something at the end of May. But I've also been seeing folks going, but it could just be a State of Play. I've heard people say, and State of Play, and I've heard people say it's just a showcase. So, Kyle, I'm going to bring this question over to you, good sir. What's it going to be in May? Is it going to be a showcase of like, hey, here's what we have for all of our first party, or the first party that you really want to know about, our Bens or Naughty Dogs or Santa Monica's. What's Neil up to? Or is this going to be something a little bit smaller, a little bit more contained? Hopefully better than last year's, but something that is, hey, here's what's going to be in the immediate future from us. Here's what's going to be maybe in 2026.
I think it's a little bit of both there.
Okay.
But I also fully believe them to stick to their guns when they said, don't expect anything major from first party this year. Or like, we're going to remain quiet. I forgot how long ago that was. But I can expect maybe an update on Concord. Expect a Fair Games update from Haven. I could even see like actual in-game footage of Wolverine from Insomniac, just because we're getting close. If it is hitting next year,
technically we've already seen it.
You know what I mean? Officially.
Yeah.
So
as it's meant to be.
I do think there's a lot of credence to this rumor. I think a showcase makes a ton of sense. Also because I believe it was today. Yeah, the days are blending together. Ubisoft Forward announced they're doing a live stream on June 10th.
Yeah.
So if PlayStation does a showcase before then, it's end of May timeframe. Like, it makes sense.
Okay.
And then, similar to how they have been doing it, they do their show, state of play showcase, whatever it is. Then they show up on Summer Game Fest with Jeff and do something additional. Because that's been, 2 years running they've done that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Neil's come on and talked about RIP Factions and Last of Us Part 1. Last year was Spider-Man. Yeah, so like there's a precedence there, so I expect them to keep doing that because it does work out well when it comes to like Sony has been talking forever and then they talk a whole lot for a good 3-week period and then they go away again.
Interesting. I like that. That's a stellar thought, because to me, I'm thinking something similar. I think you're gonna get like I think you're gonna get what you want to see, but we're not gonna get like too carried away. I think you're gonna see your Wolverines. I think you're absolutely gonna see Concord. There's talk of like you're gonna get 2 smaller things from PlayStation, so Astro and maybe something else to hold us over. But like, I think you're gonna get Ghost, and I think that's good. I think you're gonna get the germ of what Naughty Dog is working on, and that's kind of it. Or maybe even what Ben's doing, but that's about it. I don't think we're gonna go too crazy, because I think Sony's plan is like, okay, how about instead of us doing a 4-year thing where we're all waiting for Spider-Man for like 3, state of plays or whatever, or 3 E3s, what if we just make it so that, hey, here are the games we know are going to hit in 2 years, and we could build momentum for that game that way. I could kind of see a mixture of what you're saying there, Kyle. But I swing it over to you, Kami. Where's your level of excitement, or even like better, like what do you think PlayStation needs to hit on this like showcase? Do you think it's going to be something monumentous, like I'm going to get my Bloodborne remake, or is it going to be something that maybe we ground our expectations in reality a little bit?
I mean, look, it's not really a surprise that they're going to have a showcase in probably late May, early June, like they've always done. I don't know if it's going to be the big, blowout showcase that maybe some of us have been wanting.
Mm-hmm.
I hope it is, especially after the reception to last year. Like,
how did you like last year's?
I wasn't a fan. I felt like last year was like the live service showcase, right? That was their push into all live service, and it was either going to land or it didn't. So, what's that meme where I took that personally? Like
the Jordan meme? Yeah.
I hope Sony takes that personally from last year, and we get to see at least some of the the single player studios. Yeah. I want to see Ghost of Tsushima 2. I want to see what Naughty Dog is working on. I actually really want to see what Bluepoint is working on as well. It's been a while since we have no idea what they're working on. So
Bloodborne.
Yeah, if it's Bloodborne, obviously that would be the most exciting thing. But honestly, I would be okay with like a new IP from Blue Point too.
Oh, absolutely. And that's what they're working on. Yeah.
They did have
Yeah.
that tweet, or was it Christmas time 2022, where they were like hinted at so many
Yeah,
other
they were
IPs.
teasing. I think that was like over a year ago.
Yeah.
So I'm
I hope
hoping
they-
maybe we see Blue Point. I know there's been a rumor that they're working maybe on an Uncharted game. So, Naughty Dog doesn't have to do it. And
I wouldn't mind a new Uncharted game. I'll be
yeah,
real.
I think Blue Point would do it justice.
Absolutely.
So
I think because rumors spinning of like, and I want to know what you guys think of this, of remastering the Nathan Drake collection
Again?
on PS4.
yeah,
Like,
again.
like a part of me is like, really, dude, again? Like,
But
you're
I
doing
also
this
say that
again?
I'm gonna buy it regardless.
And then like I'm also like, yeah, I'm itching to go and
Oh,
play Nathan
Good
Drake. Yeah.
point. Rumor last year or so, the Horizon Zero Dawn remake. We might be
Yep.
able to get a first look at the showcase
Okay.
state of play. And I do want to shout out Lotus in chat, mentioning like, what if we get a state of play, like a few weeks before the showcase, talking about a PS5 Pro, kind of like that business meeting thing for the PS4 Pro that they had, just to have another like story beat leading into the showcase.
It's true. I think that'll be for what's gonna be in 2025. So like whatever Astrobot is,
And let's be
whatever.
real, it'll be a blog post.
Yeah, the PS5 Pro, right?
It'll be a blog post.
Yeah.
Stop
What if maybe
it.
they release Astrobot alongside the PS5 Pro?
Now
That sounds
is
like it would make sense.
yeah. Now, Kami, would you want that to be like here's a $50 or $70 game alongside, or is this another pack-in, you think?
I would like that because I don't know if they can do the whole like, here's all our new PS5 mechanics. I don't know if they can do that gimmick again.
Yeah.
So I would actually be down for like a full-on adventure game with Astrobot. It doesn't have to be like, here's our DualSense controller, here's our GPU and stuff like that. Like it can just be a full-on. Yeah, you can't do it again, right?
Yeah.
I will say just really quickly that for someone, again, my nieces in the house love to play Astros all the time.
Kylie and the other one.
Well, there's also an older one too, so there's three, Joe. Anyways, Astros still hits. It's still so incredible to the haptics, the sounds coming out of the speaker when you're just running around at different surfaces. They just nailed it, and I'm shocked that other studios haven't taken the full capabilities of what the DualSense can do.
Astrobot is like still one of the best uses of the DualSense to this day.
Yeah. I would love them to be like, hey, and we have new like here's a hint of something to come on, holiday season, and it is like maybe like the outline of like the PlayStation 5 Pro or something like that. Yeah, give them another story beat, something to also juice up the audience to look forward to. Again, I am afraid though we're putting this up on another pedestal of like I kind of want to see God next.
Here, let me make a joke prediction to bring you down. All right, you ready? Okay, the PS5 Pro will actually turn into an Astrobot that will just walk around your house.
I love that. Remember the Neopets, right? Was it the dog?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I like in Judas. I think we're gonna get something in between. I think that that's also not the worst thing in the world. I think when we always talk about like what these showcases need, what was this a good showcase then and what it is now? Like I remember us poo-pooing Helldivers at that state of play. Sorry, see, like at that showcase. And look, Helldivers is one of the most popular games right now, ever. Right? Like on PC, on PlayStation. I was waxing poetic on Rise of Ronin when I first saw it, and now it's like it's out and it's so the importances of showcases, I think it's for the hardcore fans of like, here's something to look forward to, but it's also, I think, to bring the expectations down a bit. And I know people hate when we say it, but like, remember, it is just a slew of commercials at the end of the day for things that they're hoping you're going to be excited for. So for me, I think showing us what's going to be in the near future, showing us what's going to be in 2026, and maybe, just maybe, show us something that's a little far out, I think is right where PlayStation needs it to be,
I will say, after Helldivers 2, I'm a lot more interested in seeing some of their other live service games, like
That's
Concord.
true.
Like
Yeah.
before Helldivers 2, I wasn't, I was kind of iffy on them, but like Helldivers 2 showed that they can do something unique in the live service genre.
So you'd be going, okay, you know what? Let me go give Concord another shot.
100%.
Yeah.
I'm way more
Even
interested now.
Fair Games?
Fair Games is probably the one I'm still a little iffy on.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
especially Concord, and supposedly that's still coming out this year. So I'd definitely be interested to see more. And I think we probably will see more at the PlayStation Showcase.
Yeah.
So Helldivers 2 proved that they can do something unique.
Yeah. And I think, like Concord, I was already going to give, because I'm the literally only person that looked at the Fair Games trailer was like, cool, I like the concept. So like, yeah, I think you're right. I think you're not the only one where it gives people a little bit more of confidence of like, no, you know what? PlayStation had this really cool thing with Helldivers. Let me go and see, entertain the idea of a Concord or a Fair Games. I think that's, I think
Fair Games
right.
kind of reminds me of the finals, which is a good game, to be fair. So
yeah, you're right.
Tommy, if you had to pick one thing to show up at the showcase, a dream game to be announced, no hindrances, it could be anything you want. What would get you to jump out of that chair and freak out?
Anything I want?
Anything you want. Whether it's known or unknown, doesn't matter.
Bloodborne 2.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Bloodborne 2 is a dream. Anything Bloodborne.
That's right.
Otherwise, probably Ghost of Tsushima 2 is like maybe the more realistic prediction.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would definitely get me hyped.
Do you have one, Joe? Outside of Bloodborne 2?
Honestly, I do think about where I am when they announce Bloodborne anything, because there's a good chance I am in Italy, but there's a 6-hour difference. So as long as it's at like 3 or 5 o'clock, I could use hotel Wi-Fi to get on this show. We can talk about it. So, for me, and first off, if they announce Bloodborne, everybody at Mr. Badbit, make sure I'm alive. I don't want to be like, oh, surprise me. You guys know I'm not that type. Tell me ASAP. I don't even care if you're a week late. He
is so thirsty for it. He showed me that screenshot of that Project Beast thing that was uploaded on April Fool's. I'm like, Joe, do you realize what day it is?
I know what day it is. I know, but
April Fool's.
Listen, Silk Knight, they have not been wrong. They're like, I know what day it is, and they're like, here it is. Okay. So all I'm saying, dreams can come true.
Shout out
I
if
would lose it.
They actually show off like a Final Fantasy IX remake, or
that would be hype too.
But also they got the rights for SSX, and they're doing it on their own. I want a new one of those so bad.
Yeah, no, I'm just a simple man. But I would, you know what I would actually lose it for? No joke, no cap, as the kids say.
Oh boy.
All fire, flame.
Oh geez, stop now.
What if Microsoft's there and they're like, hey, this is a dream. It's not going to happen. Hey, Halo Infinite
you hear
multiplayer.
Okay, yeah. I was going to say Starfield, but you just went all the way out there.
No, I'm just fucking. I want to get the needler on the DualSense, man.
It's the scene in Endgame. The portals open up, and out comes Master Chief. Yep. Out comes Marcus Phoenix. Yep. It's just everybody. Viva Pinata's hopping along,
Kyle, I have the title of the episode if and when Halo Infinite multiplayer comes to PlayStation.
Oh, okay.
You want to know the title?
No, I wouldn't be surprised.
All right, cool. All right, be surprised, because that's how hyped I would be. It's like my two loves converging into one. Mm-hmm. The dream I've always had since like Halo 2. It's like, wouldn't this be rad if we could play together? It's like, ultimate dream. All right. Now that the console wars is done, now that we're done fantasizing over the showcase, it is time to talk about things that probably, let's be real. Is it really alive? Kyle, take it away.
Rebecca Valentine over at IGN writes, Saber Interactive CEO says KOTOR Remake is alive and well. Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic Remake is one of gaming's most elusive projects. Announced in 2021, the long-awaited remake has changed hands multiple times, seemingly stopped development and restarted again, and after 6 years of development has yet to manifest. Wait, hold on. Okay, never mind. I was like 6 years announced in 2021. My brain's not working correctly. Fortunately, we finally have a real concrete update on what's going on. Saber Interactive is still working on it, and according to the CEO, it's quote unquote alive and well. Speaking to IGN in an interview today, Saber Interactive CEO Matthew Kark announced that the company took KOTOR with it during its split from Embracer Group, and that the game is still in active development. Quote, "It's clear and it's obvious that we're working on this," he said. "It's been in the press numerous times. What I will say is that the game is alive and well, and we're dedicated to making sure we exceed consumer expectations," end quote. Kark would not offer further details, but in an investor call following the announcement of Saber's departure, Embracer CEO Lars Wingefors implied the KOTOR remake may still be a long way away. The game has undergone a long limbo, having been announced in 2021 after 3 years of development at Aspyr, paused indefinitely due to lack of progress, and revived again at Saber Interactive. There have been minimal official updates since.
You know, Kark went on in a similar interview. I think it's the same or a different one, where they're like, "Hey, listen, like the divorce between us and Embracer is like very amicable separation. You know, don't bet on Embracer." And all I gotta say is, I will take you up on that bet. How much? I don't think like, I know they said Embracer said that they're done with the, you know, layoffs, that they're done with shedding, you know, all these teams. You know, just as a little update, as we ended the show last week, literally the night of, Borderlands developer Gearbox was sold by Embracer to 2K Interactive for $460 million. It includes Tiny Tina's Wonder Worlds. It includes Duke Nukem. It includes, of course, Borderlands, and that they are working on a Borderlands 4. Now that Embracer shedded all that weight off and Saber is now in full control of itself, Bertos Maximus writes in with this question, just like you can too if you head on over to the Trophy Room Discord server, where we ask you questions or ask you to ask us questions. And Bertos came in and delivered a slanger of a question. All right. And that one got Kyle. Audio listeners, Kyle approves. Good evening, gentlemen.
Our guests might be confused.
Yeah.
Kami, do you know our history with Slanger and Banger on the show?
I do not.
Joe despises the word banger.
Hate it.
He hates it as a describing word, and he's trying to mean girls it and try to make fetch happen, but with Slanger. And I hate it to my core.
If we put out a poll saying what's better, Slanger or Banger, to our community, everyone would say Slanger.
I don't know about that.
So you would say Ghost of Tsushima 2 is a slinger?
Yeah.
Slanger. Yep.
Okay.
It's also a derogatory word for penis. So do you want to throw that out there? So,
all right.
Because of the physics of Street Fighter, I saw someone say,
I get it.
All right, you got it. Yeah, all right. You're right. Too visual. So anyway, Joe, hope you're feeling better, and Kyle, hope your stomach bugs. Sorry, hope you are too. Stomach bugs are never fun. Firstly, thank you both for. Thank you both so much for you both got me into Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, which I am absolutely loving. So my question, however, is around KOTOR Remake. Joe, as a big Star Wars fan, I know you're going to be eagle-eyed on this. So what is it that you want the remake, as surely you will want things spruced up? Do you think they'll rebuild it from the ground up while keeping the story intact and adding bits in? Super stoked for this. As always, fellas, keep doing what you do. Bring us the amazing podcast and keep safe. From your friend from across the pond and proud supporter of House Slinger. That's right. Sorry, not sorry, Kyle. All right. So, as y'all may know,
I gotta stop giving it attention, and maybe it'll just go away.
Yeah, maybe.
We'll see.
So keep them coming. For me, I remember this came out original Xbox. I love Star Wars. I found out it was turn-based, and I just stopped. Like that, I was never into turn-based games as a kid, and even now I'm like breaking into that. Like, Baldur's Gate really was the thing that said, you know what, games don't always have to be, kinetic in a sense. So for me, when I heard that this was going to be more of an action RPG, that got me really excited. But seeing as we've seen a lot of movement in and out of that studio, and I'm going to be honest, Aspire doesn't inspire much faith for me, pun intended, because they're they're just so hit or miss. So like I am still nervous about this game, even if it's alive and well. I'm still nervous. So for me, it's like spruce it up. You can rebuild it, quote unquote, from the ground up, but keep the core intact. Keep it turn based. Give me something that's more graphical. Give me something that is like, yeah, maybe we're bringing voice actors into it. Maybe we're enhancing the audio, but don't give me something that is reaching too high for that team. Because we just saw, even with the Battlefront collection, that was abysmal. But then you have them, I believe, going out there making a really great Tomb Raider, collection. So to me, I don't know. It's not so much like what do I want to see spruced up, as in do I have much faith in it? And I'll bring this question over to you, Kami. Crusader writes, I'm very curious if SIE is involved with this at all anymore. And they gave us a little rundown of the timeline. Remember, PlayStation did drop this trailer because of quote unquote the music. So,
they removed it from their YouTube or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So what do you think, Kami? Do you think SIE is still behind this project, or you think it's solely Saber?
The short answer is probably not. Now, is this being developed by Aspire or Saber Interactive?
So it's being developed by Aspire, but it is being published under the Saber umbrella, from what I'm aware. Yeah.
And they're still owned by Embracer?
And they just got divorced. They just separated.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that kind of raises my hopes a little bit. I don't think Sony is going to be involved anymore at this point.
Yeah.
Kind of like you, I don't know if my hopes are that high for it. Full disclaimer, I've never played the original, so
Okay.
I was excited.
Are you a Star Wars fan?
Not really, not the most.
God damn it.
I've been trying to
Okay.
get into them
Gotcha.
recently, but yeah, I'm not a
Gotcha.
huge Star Wars guy. But I've heard really good things about Knights of the Old Republic, obviously. And so I was excited to play, a remade, modernized version of it.
Yeah.
I don't know if Sony's going to be involved at this point, though.
Yeah. What say you, Kyle?
It's strange. I don't know if it's maybe like a sunken cost thing. Like, is PlayStation in too deep to not see it through at this point? Like, who knows how long they've been backing it before that reveal happened on that showcase. Right. That was a showcase, right? Not a state of play.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep,
Yeah,
that was showcased 2 years ago, September.
I think it's just real tricky because Sony is, and I know all developers and publishers out there deal with it, but like when I think of the longest games in development history, I think of Last Guardian and the turmoil of that, and us thinking we'll never see that again, and it got shelved, and is it even real? I can see this being a similar thing, and we're getting close to that time frame too, and I don't know. And to borrow from Silkana in chat, where they were like, yeah, we've got to make sure that this game exceeds expectations, and Silkana says, exceed expectations in the day and age of Baldur's Gate 3? And like, if you're gonna stay in the old school turn-based kind of thing, when Baldur's Gate nailed it, it was like perfection. That is a high bar, and it's going to be unfairly judged on that merit.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, it's a beloved IP, it's a beloved game series,
and not even just Baldur's Gate, Kyle, to cut you off too.
No, go for it.
Game of the year, game of the generation. Got the beanie right next to me. It's also like you got Infinite Wealth, right? You got Persona 3. Like, there have been so many turn-based games that have come after that have completely changed the game and then some. And so like, yeah, I love Star Wars. I would buy this day one simply because. But is this the thing that's gonna, light the world on fire? I don't know. Because even if
is
it's
it
like
a remake in visuals only?
right, because even as I'm saying, like, yeah, just spruce up level 3 and see what we can do. Is that simply enough for the hardcore like Star Wars fan? Maybe.
Mm-hmm.
But for like the average gamer out there who's gotten used to some of the best Star Wars content in terms of like Fallen Order, the Jedi Survivor, like
Mm-hmm.
that series is beloved, and so to have this game next to it, you would think it's going to be unfairly judged either way in terms of series that it's connected to, the franchise, to turn-based games that have come after it. It's a great game and all, and it's one of the thing that truly to me put BioWare on the map, at least in my eyes. It's going to be really hard for Aspire to live up to any expectation. And so to me, it's still a monumental task. If you were to ask me, Joe, is this alive and well? I'm surprised that it's alive. I would be still. Do I think there's people working on it? Yeah, I do, but I'm very surprised that Disney has not pulled the plug. And maybe it just goes to show how laissez-faire Disney is with their IP. That as long as you pay the license, they're pretty okay with whatever you do. And it's hard to believe that too, even saying it. So yeah, I don't know if this thing's alive. Maybe
Yeah,
it's alive.
I wonder if
but it's
this
not
is
doing
sorry. I wonder if this is actually ever going to actually come out.
well. Yeah,
I think we'll be lucky if it even comes out, much less, overhaul the turn-based combat and do all that other stuff. So
I think, and again, I hate speaking ill, especially to like devs, but like I think they picked the wrong steward for this game in
Yeah.
particular. That I think they're like, dude, why didn't you go out there to Firaxis, right? Why didn't you go out there to the people that go and make what is it, Marvel's Midnight Sun? Like, I know same team,
studio for
yeah,
Axis.
but I know there's another studio that does similar work. Jesus, it's losing me. But like, why can't you go out
Talk
to
about
these
like
folks
Wasteland.
yes, thank you.
Yep.
Like
there's so
that
many good
go out
turn-based
there.
studios out
Absolutely,
there.
absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, and like do this. And like for Aspire, this would be their first game that's not a remake or a remaster or a collection. So like it's a tall order to begin with. And I just don't know if I'm not convinced that they're up to the task. You could make a shiny Revan turning around with a lightsaber. Great. But I don't see the game.
Also, just really quickly, shout out to Borderlands 4 being announced in that sale.
Yes.
I'm a huge Borderlands fan. I'm very excited to play more. It's been 2 years since we got Wonderlands, which is wild to think that it's 2 years already.
It's nuts.
Yeah, Borderlands is great, and I hope they learn from what all the critiques of 3 was when it comes to the narrative, and specifically like the villains, and they just nail it because the gunplay in Borderlands, the gameplay is just to me top notch. It's so good.
And I think it goes to speak to like the only probably optimistic part I am or part of me is the fact that Embracer's not a part of this.
Exactly.
That because it's now just Saber at the level, watching over what Aspire's doing. And now that they know, hey, listen, we're out from Embracer, we're an independent publisher, we now got to put out the content. Maybe that does, influence them more. And even as I'm saying it, I don't believe it. So, that said, you know what I don't believe either, but it looks like it's happening. A new Prince of Persia game already.
Ooh, from a pretty good developer.
A very good developer, some would say.
Tom Henderson over at Insider Gaming writes, Dead Cells developer to release a new Prince of Persia game in Steam Early Access. Ubisoft is set to release its next Prince of Persia game later this year on Steam, developed by Dead Cells developer Evil Empire. The game, The Rogue Prince of Persia, will launch in Early Access on Steam and mark Ubisoft's first day one Steam release since 2019. Sources say the Rogue Prince of Persia is a new roguelite that will receive constant free updates and evolve over time based on community feedback. It's understood that the game has been in development for the past 4 years and happened thanks to a discussion between Evil Empire and Ubisoft at GDC around 2019, soon after Evil Empire was born. The game is set to take its art direction and inspiration heavily from Franco-Belgian comics. It's currently unclear when the game will be officially announced, but the game is targeting an early access release on Steam later this year. It was announced on February 9th, 2024 that Motion Twin would stop creating content for Dead Cells and that Evil Empire, the studio responsible for post-launch support of the game, would be moving on to other projects. Dead Cells sold over 850,000 copies during its early access period on Steam, eventually reaching 10 million units sold in 2023. And in an update on June 10th, Ubisoft will descend upon Los Angeles to present a fresh Ubisoft Forward showcase. It's not likely the company will top 2023 showing, but there's plenty of ammunition that can still be flexed during the upcoming event. I ask you, what was that last year's Forward? I don't remember.
Okay. It goes to Volvies, dude. I remember I liked it a lot.
Was
I
it
think
I think Star Wars Outlaws was revealed there.
Oh,
Yep.
and Mirage.
Mirage,
Yep, Mirage
Yeah.
too.
That's fair.
Avatar.
Yeah. Okay.
You know.
Fair
Oh yeah, it
enough.
was that really weird stage, right? It was like a very dark
Yes.
room with a okay.
They're like, hey,
Absolutely.
remember E3? We're trying. Which honestly, like a lot of people will probably give them shit for that weird stage. But it's like, you know what? Good on you for the attempt, because like I want those back. I remember for the longest time, I'm like, let it die. But like now that we're back in person, you know, we can shake hands, touch faces again. Like, I'm all in. Let's do it, man. I would go to this in a heartbeat. That said, if you're like, oh, what's Franco-Belgian comics? Well, have you ever heard of the little comic called The Smurfs or Tintin? My boy Tintin, dude.
Oh, that's who it is?
Yeah.
The
So I'm
Smurfs?
like, okay, Smurfs, Tintin. I'm bored for this. And Kyle, you would know this because you're the indie guy. Evil Empire didn't they spin off from Motion Twin? Like they were once a part of Motion Twin, and then they set off. They created their own company.
Way to put me on the spot.
Now listen. You're Mr. 6'1". You're Mr. You know.
Hold on. Let me
Okay.
Google because
All right, well-
I don't actually know.
While you Google,
Yeah.
I'll ask Cammy this very important question.
I think
Does
you're right.
this? Yeah, right.
Like they worked
Tell
on
you.
it, but they weren't like the main developer. I don't know, something like
Yeah. I'm telling you, my memory's on point today. Don't-
that.
Yeah, in 2019 they split. Good
I
call.
knew it. So this could be the reason as to why. Maybe the one side went, "Hey, listen, we have Prince of Persia now," and one side's like, "Yeah, but I mean, this game's gonna sell over 10 million units, so who cares? Let's just keep making our own original thing." And maybe that's what causes the divide. Either way, this is super exciting. Kami, I want to know what you're thinking here, man. Does this excite you, knowing the developer, knowing the IP, and seeing that like Ubisoft is very hot on Prince of Persia lately, at least on a smaller scale?
Yeah, I'm definitely interested in this from what I've heard. Supposedly it's going to be sort of related to the old school Prince of Persia games, like
Okay.
the original 2D games.
Mhm.
But that it's going to be a roguelite. So, you know, it sounds interesting from what we've heard. There is a good developer behind it. So I'm just glad they're reviving the Prince of Persia IP and they're finally starting to use it.
Yeah.
On
It's-
that note, though,
Okay.
I don't want them to run it into the ground like Assassin's Creed. I don't want it to
one
become
would s-
oversaturated. Like, and we get tired of it. I realize it's still fresh and new and exciting that
Mhm.
it's back. I just don't want us to become tired of it in a year
Right.
or
Yeah.
two when we get the remake of Sands of Time, wherever that is.
Let's hopefully it's in the trash.
I think
Maybe
it's in
at
good
Forward.
hands.
Maybe it's
Yeah.
in Ubi Forward.
Yeah.
Enjoy.
Maybe.
Yeah, so Kami, you're right. I think it's in good hands. I think even like if we take a Assassin's Creed, you know, exhaustion, like it still sells really well. It's I think even selling better than ever. So like
Yeah.
to me, I'm just I don't think like even when it comes to like superhero movies, I never believed in like the superhero like fatigue. Like fatigue only happens when the movies aren't good, and the movies haven't been good. But once we get a slew of back to back, great superhero movies, people will be re-energized to go out there and visit the theater and go watch a Superman, right? It just has to be good. That said, I love a good roguelite, and Dead Cells is by far one of my favorite indie games just simply ever. So to see the people that have helped curate that game for years go on and go, hey, listen, we're going to make something that's known, which is an Assassin's Creed, but we're going to do it our way. That really excites me. And seeing Ubisoft experiment with early access, I think is also something that excites me, because the one thing that we've been complaining about for months and concerned about the future of games is complacency of publishers, of them not expanding or experimenting, how to put out a game. Does every game need to be $70? Does every game need to be, $50? Like, I think Ubisoft's done a really good job of, experimenting where experimentation makes sense. And if it does well, we'll see more publishers follow this trend, which I feel more positive than the games of service trend. That's it, Kyle. I'll throw this over to you, because you were not as high as I was on The Lost Crown that came out early this year.
Still a good game.
So yeah,
Great game even.
Yeah.
Just I don't know.
Amazing game.
Sure. Yeah.
Thank you, Kami.
I'm a
Amazing.
roguelike snob, by the way. That's the one
Okay.
genre I'm a snob about.
Fair.
Okay.
So, does this perk your nose up? Does this make you take the monocle off and make you focus as roguelike snob number one, Kyle
Well,
Stevenson?
yes, my good chap. Let me pull up my little pocket watch and check the time.
Yes.
I think just on art style alone, I'm excited.
Okay.
I like when roguelikes do something a little bit different visually, and I am excited. Just personal preference. I hope it comes to console sooner than later.
Oh yeah.
Just because I don't want to sit here and play on Steam on my PC until I get a new one.
Okay.
But yeah, this is exciting. I'm a huge fan of Prince of Persia. And it seems like they are making the right moves. And are we also getting DLC for Lost Crown this year too?
Should be.
Or early
Yes,
next year?
they did confirm that,
Yeah, so
which is awesome.
it's very awesome. Yeah, so I'm excited. I want to see it in motion.
Okay. That's my thing. It's like, this excites me. Motion twin. I dropped my pen.
Well, you're
Just-
at a standing desk. It shouldn't be that hard to get it.
No, my back still hurts
No,
from
that's
last
fair.
week.
That's fair.
The chapstick will have to do as my fidget device this episode. My only concern is that we literally just got a Prince of Persia game, and it is phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't want to necessarily dilute the well with another Prince of Persia game, and then all of a sudden maybe folks are a little confused which one's which. So that's the only thing that I get stuck up on. So I'm gonna really have to see what this one's doing. It's even more interesting if we walk back even further of like what these teams, both of these teams are working on, that Ubisoft said, you know what, keep them both. And I think maybe that speaks to how well both of these games look for Ubisoft. So yeah, very excited. I want to know, Kami, hype check for the Ubi Forward. Are you excited? Or like from a scale of 1 to 10? Where's your excitement for Ubi Forward?
Yeah, I'm excited for this year's UB Forward. I will say, by the way, Steam is also a really big deal. The fact that they're releasing it on Steam day
Absolutely.
one. I know a lot of PC players have been asking for that, so that's huge. Hopefully, they bring maybe Lost Crown to Steam as well.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
I think Ubisoft has a nice little lineup coming up. Apparently, Assassin's Creed Red is coming this year, maybe in the fall, and then Star Wars Outlaws we know is scheduled for 2024. So just those two alone is a pretty good lineup for the year. And then we still Need to hear about Splinter Cell remake. I wonder if we're gonna maybe see that.
Kami getting the internet's hopes up. I love to see it. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't bet on that one being there this year, but it could be. It's been a while since
Sure.
they announced it, so it wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah. Just saying.
Speaking
Outlaws.
of dead IPs forever, Beyond a Good and Evil 2. Is that a real thing?
No, let that one die. Let it die. No, I think I'm right there with you, Kami, dude. I'm very excited. Like Star Wars already gets me there, right?
Mhm.
Then seeing that we have Assassin's Creed in Japan with Red.
Finally.
Finally. Now it does have to live up to Ghost of Tsushima, but listen, I think they're gonna get it. I think if the premise is what the premise is, which is like supposedly you are like a black samurai in like the 16 or 1500s, like
Something like
that's
that.
dude, that's fucking rad. Like that concept is gonna be really cool, and it's based off like actual people in that time, so people can't complain that it's woke. Awesome, amazing. And then having this on top of all that has me at a solid 9, like 9.5. I think Assassin's Creed, Star Wars, and then this game gets me over the edge. What about you, Kyle?
Yeah, I'm super excited. I'm excited for whatever Ubi has. I'm excited to see more of Outlaws, because that slice that we saw last year was stellar. And I'm definitely want to see more of that. Obviously, excited at the oh my god, AC Red for sure, but also I want to know more about that codename Hex one, like the witch one. I'm very excited to see that in action, because I love that whole vibe. I think that would work extremely well. And like just on the off chance that we maybe get a sneak peek at a Far Cry,
Okay.
or something like that. I know.
I kind of forgot about Far Cry.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
right?
It's
Wait a minute.
the Giancarlo one was 2021.
21, I think, or
Was
20.
it
Yeah.
2021?
I think so. I think it was for year one of PS5.
You're right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so-
you are right.
It's time to see a new one, and that could be fun and exciting. But I also would love to see more like Ubi originals. What do they got?
Sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
more of them indies.
Yeah.
Out of movie. Yeah, no, I honestly I
Which mascots
do.
are going to dance on the stage for Just Dance? You know.
Hopefully none of them. I really do like what Ubisoft puts out, man. Genuinely speaking, like I know, like the game space likes to go like, oh, the Ubisoft map game, but it's like, okay, yes, but like the formula works.
Exactly.
People genuinely have fun with it,
Yeah.
and I like checking off those boxes. So what? Yeah, Outlaws made me tear up last year. I can't wait.
How do
my
we
dream
how do
game.
we feel about Watch Dogs showing its face?
Give it one last shot.
I mean, Legion was 2020.
I think Watch Dogs should go on a break, to be honest.
That's fair.
Give us like 2-3
fair.
years off.
That's fair.
Wait till you could do something really crazy with AI.
Yeah, that would actually work perfectly for Watch
Yeah.
Dogs.
Yeah.
Watch Dogs 3 or something.
I
don't know.
didn't like that there wasn't a centralized character in Legion.
Same.
Yeah,
Like
Same
2 was
here.
awesome. I loved 2.
Oh my god, what was the main protagonist's name? I'll get it. Don't worry, I'll look it up. Yeah, but like that like Watch Dogs 2 was, I think it was Marcus. Yep. Like Watch Dogs 2 was like the whole cast of characters,
Mhm.
and then also bringing Aiden back. How did I remember Aiden? He sucked. Even bringing him back, it was just like, oh, cool, you exist. Nice coat. But like that was a legit, really great game.
Mhm.
And I think, Watch Dogs Legion, the premise was cool, but for a story and me wanting to get invested in a character, I can't get invested in literally a grandma with a smartphone, Yeah.
they need a
Random,
protagonist, I think.
they definitely do.
Yeah. Bring
Random,
Marcus back.
Random question.
Mhm.
What Nintendo game is Ubisoft working on?
I don't know, something.
What Nintendo mascot's going to show up in an Ubi game? Are we going to get King Day in a Watch Dogs?
Yes. That's a good question. What?
Because Sparks of Hope was 2 years ago?
Yeah. And I think they had DLC for it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, they already released DLC for that game?
I
yeah.
believe so.
Yeah, I think last year.
Okay.
So they're probably still hard at work on something.
Yeah.
All right, fair
Remember
enough.
when Star Fox was in that Starlink game?
Star Fox with the Starlink team.
Oh.
Come on, let's do it.
That'd be
Let's
cool.
go.
Yeah.
Switch 2 exclusive launch
There
day.
you go. There we go.
Ooh.
That'd be cool.
So yeah, maybe then they would have to hold off on that because Switch 2 looks like not this year, right?
Yeah.
So that said, it's time for some flash news. Gotta run, gotta go fast. We gotta talk about Stellar Blade and Stellar Cheeks and all that stuff.
Did you just say Stellar Cheeks?
Yeah, and I said
Okay.
ha 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 because
Okay.
such a joke, such wow.
Cool.
First bit of flash news: Tales of Kenzara Zhao, day one on PlayStation Plus Extra, as well as Dave the Diver on April 16th. So Tales of Kenzara Zhao will launch on PlayStation Extra on the 23rd, and Dave the Diver on the 16th. This is already stellar, and I think a great choice for both Dave the Diver and Tales of Kenzara Zhao. This is excellent. I don't know. Any thoughts, Kami? Which one are you playing first, Tales or Dave?
I'm playing Tails for sure. That game
Yeah.
looks so cool. I love that there's an African protagonist for once. They just revealed that there's going to be a full Swahili voiceover, which I don't know if I've ever seen in a video game before.
Yeah.
So I think that's a huge get for PlayStation. EA Originals too. So
Yeah.
that's definitely going to be my first one.
I love what.
Although I've heard good
Abubakar
things about
Slim's
David
doing.
Diver.
Yeah.
I love what he's doing.
Kyle,
Yeah.
what say you? Dave the Diver?
Yeah, you know that gigantic indie, one of the biggest indies in the world.
Indie game of the year.
Yeah. I'm very excited because I didn't get to play Dave the Diver again. That was like PC, and I barely touched my Switch. So I'm excited. Obviously, everything Kami said about Tales, I'm all in for, and just hearing people who have played it at like preview events or whatever, I just want to play that game. And we'll get into it in a little bit, but also like in between those is like Stellar Blade. Like we're gonna be in a good stretch of like really fun games on PlayStation, and let alone these two being a day one on PS Plus, which is keep doing it. Don't do one every 6 months. Kind of shorten that window and give us more of this because I love this.
Yeah, and I think this is such a great decision for both of those games because, like, listen, Dave the Diver, critically acclaimed, sold really well, all that, great. Tales backed by EA, great. But at the same exact time, when you take a look at that month, you do have Stellar Blade, you do have those two games, then you have No Rest for the Wicked. It's like you have games that are like take the oxygen out of the room. So having a cushion of like, hey, listen, don't worry, part of this development's already paid for here, just by being on this platform is excellent. So I implore everybody, go download both these games, start them up. Even if you're not planning on playing them day one, it's going to help those developers. And then afterwards, play the heck out of those games.
Just look at what Sea of Stars did when it was on PS Plus day one. How many people downloaded it on that and Game Pass, and then they still bought it in droves. Like it's a good idea all around.
Yeah, it's excellent. Again, April is gonna be nuts, dude. No Rest for the Wicked. That's the thing. It's like, sorry, Dave, but yeah, this game comes first. But for me, it's definitely Tales because I like a good Metroidvania. I've become a Metroidvania boy. Dave the Diver, I still don't know much about, though the Godzilla DLC.
Oh wow, Godzilla DLC.
I know, right? Like, let's
go.
go.
I think it's coming a month later in May.
Yeah.
Is this the first time we've had 2 day one PS Plus games in the same month?
I believe
I think it is.
Yeah, because Stray was the first one. That was standalone.
Yeah.
Sea of Stars was standalone. Rogue Legacy 2 was standalone. Sifu was standalone. Yeah, I think so.
That's amazing. Yeah, they definitely need to do that more, especially if you're going to make us pay extra for the higher tiers.
And that's the thing. Like, extra makes sense now. Like, I think I could safely suggest it to folks. Premium, still a bit of a...
Yeah.
Gotta do more.
What classics
Streaming's nice.
What are we getting this month?
Come on, PS3, let's go. No streaming.
Shout out to Ben for just putting that classics catalog on their back the entire program.
Seriously. With no end in sight with that.
No.
That said, Predator Hunting Grounds being resurrected for PlayStation 5 and Xbox with new content. This comes from Luis Joshua Gutierrez over at GameSpot. Ilphonic, the publisher of Predator Hunting Grounds, has announced that the 1v4 asymmetrical multiplayer game will be coming to Xbox Series X and S and PlayStation 5. The publisher has also announced a year-long roadmap, which includes new playable Predators. The first update players can expect is patch 2.49 patch,
Don't
which
steal
will
my
be
bit.
released in April. The update will focus on quality of life fixes, including balance changes, player movement, and more. Later in the year, Predator Hunting Grounds will be ported to modern consoles. Both a standard and digital deluxe edition of the game will be offered, although there is no word on what it'll include in the latter. Sometime this winter, new Predators will be released, with more to follow in spring of 2025. No specifics about the new Predators were shared, or come on, make it with the one in Prey, or it's a no-brainer, or what other new content is on the way. Hunting Grounds was initially released in 2020 for PS4 and PC. The name suggests one person plays as a predator hunting humans, while four others play as soldiers competing in various tasks in the jungle. For those unaware, the game was originally released by Sony as the publisher, but now Ilphonic is both the publisher and developer for Predator Hunting Grounds. See, listen, Xbox guys, Sea of Thieves, Predator,
Yeah,
the equal, right?
it's a win.
It's a win. Everybody wins.
It's like a
Come
player
on.
to be named later in like a baseball trade.
Exactly. Here you go.
It's a quality
Yeah.
one though. No shame to
Yeah.
anyone who enjoys Predator. It's just not my
I
thing.
like a good gag.
Yeah.
Dude, knowing that we're gonna get another Predator movie, after Prey, which was phenomenal, and my favorite
Yeah.
Predator movie. There, I said it. I'll fight you. Okay. I like the Arnold one. Predator 2 sucks. I'm sorry.
Hmm.
I'm sorry. Like, the only cool thing was the ship scene where you see the xenomorph head. Awesome. Other than that,
What,
it sucks.
Where do you stand on Predators? With like Adrian,
that the one
was it
with
Adrian Brody, I think?
Solid.
Yeah,
Solid.
it wasn't bad.
But even like the end where like that was like, okay.
Alien vs Predator is the highlight for me. I love those movies. They're
Cheesy.
cheesy,
but
not great, but fun.
Here's the thing. All right, Kyle, I know you're a little to hear me out on this. When a movie goes, hey, listen, we're gonna kill a kid.
Oh,
I'm like, they're not holding back. Predator AVP2. As soon as that hunting scene, I'm like, yeah, this movie's nuts. whoever okayed this is an animal and a monster, let's go. You know? That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. When horror movies do that, I'm like, you guys are in for something satanic. But I'm in. You know, Midsummer me. Let's do it. Stuff me up. Make me a Christmas tree.
That's a T-shirt right there. Midsummer me.
All right, Kami. I say at least one thing that gets me canceled. I should have told you that from the get-go. Where are you on this? Good, great. Doesn't move the needle for you that much.
I've never played this Predator game, to be fair, so I guess it's cool that a Sony game is going multi-plat.
Technically, yeah.
Yeah.
It's not like Spider-Man 2 or anything, but
It'll come in time.
It's interesting. Yeah, it'll
Yeah.
come in time.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Here's something that's gonna get you hyped.
Just really quickly, is Ilphonic also the Friday the 13th devs? Or am I
Yeah.
mistaking them from the Killer Clown devs? Or are they all one and the same?
I think maybe one of the same.
Okay.
Because Killer
I couldn't
Clowns is
remember.
them.
Okay.
They're doing
Yeah.
Killer Clowns. I think they did a Ghostbusters game too recently,
I think so.
I think so.
like Spirits Unleashed or something.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, so this is kind of like their genre that they like to tackle.
Yeah.
Good on them for doing it too.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. Ready? I know, April Fools, whatever. I said it on Twitter. I'm like, April Fools is so played out. It just sucks. You're not gonna surprise me. You're not you're not gonna get my goat. I'm not gonna laugh at anything. And
You got
I
hyped
want to
for that
apologize.
Project Beast image though.
I'll believe anything Bloodborne related. You're not gonna get me, okay? And Bloodborne is coming out. You're not gonna get me. You're not gonna make me laugh. It's all just corporate and just a sham nowadays. but I didn't recognize Hollow Knight's game because they had the audacity to update their wish list on Xbox and I believe on the eShop as well. It's on the store pages. You could take a look at it. And then Sarah Bond even quote tweeted it. So we know that Xbox was recording something a few days ago. Looks like they're shopping up a showcase of themselves. So I want to know, Kami, I go to you. How excited do you get for a Silksong? And where do you think we're going to see this? Do you think it's a E3 recipes, a Xbox showcase, or do you think this is something we're going to see in the next, few weeks?
I cannot wait for this game. I've been trying not to get my hopes up because it's a small team. If you guys didn't know, it's like 20 people or something like that. So, whenever it's ready, it's ready. But seeing this, out of all things, to be the one thing on April Fool's that actually turned out to be real was just hilarious. I think this is probably an Xbox Game Showcase reveal. If we get a trailer or hopefully a release date, it seems like a lot of Xbox people were hyping this up, and it seems like an Xbox Game Showcase type of thing.
Okay.
Wherever it is, though, I'm fine with it. I just want to hear more.
Yeah, I want to see a release date.
Yeah,
And
I will balls to the wall. Huge prediction. It's be wild if it's true. Whenever we see it, whatever showcase it is, it will release that very day.
Oh my gosh,
really?
It'll be a shadow drop. It'll be like, hey, tired of waiting. Day one Game Pass right now after the show, whatever it is, and then it's there.
Honestly, I would tell you you're crazy
That would
because it's an
break
indie game.
Gaming internet.
But
that would be
break
probably
the
like
internet.
one of the hypest releases of the year.
Absolutely.
By far.
Absolutely.
Shit, I was thinking, yeah, like late August, early September, but you're like,
Drop it.
Okay. That's it, Kyle.
If you want to combat like a PlayStation showcase around the same time, drop Hollow Knight. Take over all the news beats. Like, I mean, listen, as somebody who's now works at Games PR, if that happens, good luck trying to get any games recognized or written about other than Hollow Knight Silksong.
It is confirmed day one Game Pass, right?
Yep.
Yeah,
Day
so
one Game Pass.
that'll be huge get for Xbox. If they can shadow drop that would be amazing.
Again, pie in the sky probably won't happen, but man, how hyped would that be?
So, Kyle, I asked this to you, sir. Hollow Knight Silksong's on my House Slanger Fantasy Critic League
it is.
versus House Banger.
Uh-huh.
Nervous. Are you now nervous?
Nope.
So you're saying, I have Silksong and I have Elden Ring.
Sure.
DLC.
Mm-hmm.
That does not scare you. Even Kami broke for a second. He's like, bro.
I don't know, man. That's two heaters right there.
Right? Right?
He's forgetting to mention the games that I have on my team.
Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Paper Mario: The Thousand-Year Door.
Hello?
Those are both probably 90 plus.
Exactly.
Elden Ring is like 95 plus.
Yeah.
Though.
Listen,
Exactly.
You're gonna get a ton of points.
Yeah.
There's no. What am I gonna do? Leave the league? Absolutely not. I'm going to stick with it. If it happens, it happens. I will play the long game. I will make smart pickups. I will combat it in some ways. Don't worry about it.
Still have a chance.
Exactly. I'm ready.
Oh, bro. Kyle, can you talk more? Because I need to mute my mic.
I know why you're laughing, and I didn't even mean it like that either, by the way.
My goodness. Oh, man.
Well, I mean,
I'm going to faint. I'm red.
Do you want to just go right into what you've been playing, and I can?
Yeah. I'm very excited.
Yeah.
I can't get into Hollow Knight, but I'll try again.
Sure. Yeah.
Go for it.
So I just really quickly before we get to the big demo thing and find out what Kami's been playing as well. I just want to remind everyone who's playing Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, take your time, enjoy all the side quests that are there, because they are spectacular. And I tweeted about one yesterday that I just did in the Cosmo Canyon region that broke me emotionally, and there were several people who were like, well, I didn't see that cutscene. What are you talking about? Where was that in the game? I'm sorry, don't just beeline it. I get it, everyone plays games differently, but there's so much good in those side quests. Yes, there are some duds. There always will be some duds.
Right.
But there's some absolute gems in Rebirth, and I am over the moon on this game. I can't wait to finish it. I'm 66 hours in. I love that I'm taking my time and I'm not rushing it. I'm just soaking it all in. I have about 8 gigs worth of screenshots I've taken because I just stop every moment and just snap away. It's everything I wanted and more. I can't wait to see what people have been hinting about an ending being controversial.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair. I have not picked it back up because Dragon's Dogma happened. Don't worry. Yeah, your mic will get back. I mean, your camera. There you go. It's fixed. I have not gotten back to it because Dragon's Dogma got in the way, but I think I'm gonna be going back to it in the next few days. Absolutely, it's a game that I'm missing. I really want to get back to it. Kami, what have you been playing, man?
I'm still working my way through Rebirth as well. I actually just got to Cosmo Canyon.
Hell yeah.
Okay.
Are you a fan of the OG one, Kami?
Yes, I love the original game. I didn't play it like way back in the day.
Yeah.
I played it more recently, but yeah, it's I think it still holds up today very well.
Oh man, you're going to love what they.
Yes, I've been excited to get to Cosmo Canyon the entire game.
The
so
music alone.
Made it.
Oh my god.
Yep. I've also been playing Rise of the Ronin as well.
How are you liking it? I'm playing it and I got thoughts.
Yeah, I got thoughts as well. I think there's fun to be had.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's like a horrible game like some people are making it out to be. It's probably not winning Game of the Year or anything like that, but I think the gameplay is really fun. The graphics aren't the best, but I think the art design is kind of there at times. It's a good game. It's not a great game.
Yeah. For me, like Rise of the Ronin, because like we had this deep conversation, I think like a week or two ago about like graphics. Like games graphically don't have to be. I don't need to see every pore.
Yeah.
On a person's face for the game to be good. If the game plays great, that's key. And I think, I picked up Rise of Ronin because one of my coworkers, they got a GameStop gift card as like a birthday present. They're like, I don't play video games. Here's $30. And so like, I got it on the cheap via GameStop, and I've been playing it. And I'm like, there's a great game here. And I think what happened was because this is the Team Ninja's first open world game, they're making the some of the mistakes of like an early open world game. Like I think it's one of the things that make it seem so dated. If this was a more linear experience, where they didn't have to focus on, activities, quote unquote, to fill the world up, I actually think that this would be a really, this could be a really great game if they just honed in on the scope of what it could be. Because, like, you're right, graphically, like when I saw the comparisons on Twitter, I'm like, well, Twitter compresses the shit out of everything. It doesn't look too bad when I squint my eyes and I'm looking at this on my phone. Let me play it firsthand. And yeah, even as someone who's like, graphics aren't everything, there is something I think artistically missing to me, it's art style, where it's like, if this was something stylized, this could have been, if they didn't go so hard into the, realistic side of things, because there's still some fantastic shit that goes on. Like you're dodging like waves of a blade. I'm like, why are we getting fantastical there? We could have put some of that in the art design, and I think that would have been able to help it a bit, because the game looks a little, not even little, it looks very muddied, and I can't really put my finger as to why it does. But you're right. I think like the combat is really good. It still has some problems for me though.
It's funny that you say that, because the open world content is probably like my biggest complaint with the game.
Yeah.
I've gotten to the point where I'm just pretty much just doing the main missions, and all these bandit camps and stuff are cool, but they get kind of repetitive after a while. Yeah. And I'm actually really enjoying the game by focusing on the main missions. So the gameplay is where it's at for sure.
Yeah, for me, it's like one too many bandit camps. It's like all they played was an Ubisoft game. No, again, still love you Ubisoft, but it's like I think this is what they like, and the activities just aren't compelling enough. Like
Yeah.
sneaking up on certain cats to pet them. I'm like, all right, why can't you lead me to a nice little cute thing? Um, one too many bandit camps where they're not challenging in the slightest. But then at the same exact time, yeah, like there are some mainline bosses where they are interesting. And I think the parry system, while I think needs work, it's still Team Ninja, so it's still solid. It's just for me, the story's not hooking me, and the open world is kind of just bleh. And yeah, to me, it's the 6 and the 7 range seems like where the reviews are landing seems accurate. It does. Yeah.
For sure.
That said, guys, we have all played the Stellar Blade demo. And here's a challenge that I'm going to give to each and every one of you. We're not going to mention Eve's looks. We get it. She's hot. She's attractive. Understand. But the conversation that I've seen around Stellar Blade is simply just about that. And there is so much more to this game than just Eve. So, I'm
Challenge
going to bring it
accepted.
over. Well, then I'll bring it over to you first, good sir.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on Stellar Blade, Mr. Kyle Stevenson?
So didn't finish the full demo. I played it before hopping on here just because being sick and whatnot. I love how this demo started.
Right?
It was Uncharted levels of set pieces combined with a pretty solid Souls combat system where like I love Liza P, and like the parrying is pretty similar feeling. And when you parry in this game, it feels amazing. And trying to get rid of those yellow dots to open it up for a retribution, I think is what they call like the visceral attacks. I think the combat is solid. I think it's a beautiful looking game. It's not without its faults though. I think enemy drops are so minuscule on the screen.
Yeah.
It is hard. Like, yeah, they're brightly lit, but they're still so tiny that it gets kind of lost in the world. I don't truly love that. And I tried messing around with the accessibility, and the HUD you can make better, but I didn't see anything to like make them more brighter. It could be there, and I just missed it. I think I dig where the story is. I'm a big sucker of like alternate reality Earth kind of stuff. So I'm intrigued about what's going on, and it's the attention to detail is pretty mind blowing to the point of like the game opens, it cuts to the title screen, which is a dope way to cut to the title screen.
Yeah.
And then they bring it to a different situation. I'm like, that's weird that we don't see how Eve made it here. And then they answer that question literally like 3 minutes later. I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah. Cool. You're thinking about everything. I love that. Traversal's a little stiff. But I'm digging when you interact with like enemies and like the dead soldiers there, that after you take it, they actually like crumble and move because you search them. It's just like all those little things I find so fascinating, and I love it. So Stellar Blade is great. I'm very, very excited for the full release.
Yeah. What about you, Kami? How, walking into this demo, where were you like hype wise, and then walking out?
Yeah, I mean, I was intrigued by it, but I don't know if I was like fully hyped for it before the demo. Just because like all anyone ever talked about was Eve's looks. So having played it though, I'm very excited for this game now. Like you said, the intro right out the gate was insane, pure spectacle. It was just like pure hype. It was a great way to start things off. And then the combat actually felt pretty good. It doesn't feel quite like Nier. It doesn't feel quite like Dark Souls. It does feel like its own thing, but it is a fun combat system. The parry timing and stuff took me a little bit to get used to, but I enjoyed it. And then the soundtrack was incredible as well.
Oh, yeah. For me, Stellar Blade, I was excited for Stellar Blade from the get. Like I thought it looked interesting. I think, you get me anywhere and I know like, the keywords, some people like, take offense by every time you mention souls, but like I don't, because I think it's a great descriptor for like if you're an audio listener. So like I understood that it took a lot of homages from action games of the past, right? Like in present, there is a lot of very much like a love letter to Nier in its level design or its you know its artistic like view of the world. It's very much like a post apocalyptic style similar to that of Nier, but it's doing something not even slightly different. It's just like, yeah, if you told me this was like a spiritual, like, or it's not even spiritual, that's too much, like it feels like an homage to Nier. It's like a tip of the hat, like, hey, we saw what you did, we also have a little robot boy following us as well, but like it looks different. Where Nier was robotic and like industrial, this seems like it's overgrown and insect ridden. Like, the other part of it where it's, the combat system, it's like, yeah, we know what an action game, feel what an action game of today's standards should feel like now. And so, it's very much, following the same ways of like a Jedi Survivor, or what I like is like, it's giving you the option to say, hey, you know what? I heard people like Sekiro. That parrying so that you can open up the enemy's defenses, that's great. We want to do that. We don't need a stagger meter for these guys, right? We'll make it so that you chip away when you do a perfect parry, but you can still wail on these guys and they'll fall with ease. So it gives you some versatility to the combat as well. It's just a really well thought out mechanic on a mechanical level game.
Mm-hmm.
So like I'm a slut for a good action adventure, game. And so like this is giving me exactly what I want on the mechanics alone. Then when you get into the boss fights, yeah, it is like memorizing the patterns. It is like
enemy design is killer too, by the way.
Yes,
killer.
absolutely.
And so like they really did think of everything. And while we can say like, oh yeah, it's very like inspired by Nier, Souls, Sekiro, whatever have you, it very much feels like something that is while taking homages to something that is unique.
But also, like in real talk, what games coming out now are taking inspirations from other games?
Right. True. And I mean, even from the Souls like type of like, hey, here's how you're gonna lock onto an enemy.
Yeah.
Right. Here's like that sticky targeting.
They also have a campfire. It's just a rest station.
Yeah.
It's like,
and the cool thing about this game too, if this is like turning you off, going, Souls is difficult. Difficulty options. So you have a straight up story mode if you don't want that abusive type of gameplay, like I like and Kami likes from like a Bloodborne. So like it really is welcoming in terms of, hey, if you're new at this, if you always wanted to get into something like this, it's there. I thought walking into it, I was going to get like a Devil May Cry or like a Bayonetta homages, which they're definitely there. I think Eve's design is definitely that of like a Bayonetta, especially with the hair. But you're not getting like a, S rank on a level. It's not like that. And levels alone, they're not like a big open world. They're kind of wide. So there's room for exploration.
They're filled enough to like...
There's little secrets and stuff.
Yeah, to be like, hey, explore every inch. Like it's inviting for players to go out that.
And I think in the full game there will be some wider open levels.
Yeah.
Like there's like some desert area, kind of like Nier. But like you said, it does take elements from different games, but it very much feels like its own unique thing.
Yeah. Yeah. So
I also would not be shocked at the end of this game. They're just like, hey, it's actually a Parasite Eve game. We're doing it ourselves. It's fine.
Yeah.
Oh, just really quickly before we get too far, Silkana in chat says there is an option to auto loot, so I'm glad that that's there.
And also, Lotus, thank you for the $10 super chat. Thank you so much. Yeah. At the end of the day, I walked out going, "This is actually my most anticipated game this year." Like this. I will not be surprised when this game lands on my Game of the Year list.
Silkana also is like, I can't wait to sword surf. I forgot that was a thing in this game.
Right.
There's so much we haven't seen yet.
Yeah. So yeah, the game is speaking to me. That said,
Oh,
all right,
hold
now
on.
we could get into the discourse. Yes,
Really quickly, Dewani
Go for
brings
it.
up a good point. Sans the boss fights, it sounds like you're talking about Rise of the Ronin. How do they differ when it comes to gameplay?
Um, so from what I've experienced from Rise of the Ronin bosses, first off, they very much also it's about breaking their parry.
Yeah.
It's about breaking their stances. So the one thing that I don't like about Rise of the Ronin is I feel like I have a Nerf blade for a sword. Where I'm like, I'm really wailing into this guy, and it's not doing like this is a samurai sword, you know? So it's all about breaking the stances where Stellar Blade gives you more freedom of how to approach combat. You're not as restrictive. Also, Rise of the Ronin is about stances, and it's very rock, paper, scissors type of approach to combat. Stellar Blade, it's like, here's your sword. We have not yet seen your gun that you're going to
Perfect
get.
dodges, things
Perfect
like that.
dodges, parrying. Yeah.
I feel like
Um,
Stellar Blade has way more options and different abilities you can use as well than
Shout
Rise
out
of
to
the
that
Ronin.
skill tree too. There's like
Yes,
for
5
sure.
big wheels in Stellar Blade.
Yep.
and it's not like because the one critique I saw some streamers like, it's all right. I just played the boss. It's like a 6, 7. Um, I just hope the tree's better. I'm like, you could literally open it up right now and you could see
Yeah.
like, it's not like a
There's an
+5
option
to
for a
strength.
bigger parrying window, which I
Mhm.
absolutely upgraded.
Like it's giving you more mobility. It's giving you the ability to give you better defenses mechanically. It's not like a +5 to your spirit. It's
Yeah.
nothing like that. It's just helping you be more mobile. Great question, by the way. That's it. Okay, now it's time to dive just a little bit into the discourse. Trellis writes in with the help of Still Cannon. Still Cannon's like, he worded it better. Take his question. Um, that's it. Hey, Joe. Hey, Kyle. Thanks again for putting on such a grand podcast. Hey, and you yourself as well, because you run by the players a community podcast this month. Hi-Fi Rush. Ask Trellis all about it. Okay, please, please, please. My PlayStation highlight of the week. Thank you, sir. How does the debate and outcry surrounding Stellar Blade's depiction of female characters, as well as the game's reception of an adults only rating in Korea, reflect broader discussions about character design and content ratings in the industry? Are we taking things a bit too far? Critics argue that Stellar Blade relies on hypersexualized female characters for attention, detracting from the story and gameplay. How do you feel? How do you balance creativity with regulation versus censorship? How should we handle mature content in games? So, I'll take this one first. I'll show you guys the way. If I say this is a little bit of what I like to call a bad bit rant. I'll spend 5 minutes on this. I'll take the heat so y'all don't have
Floor
to.
is
That's what I
yours.
do. So, first, I can't speak to like how in South Korea they rate their games. And I can't speak to like that culture of what they view as appropriate to what we view, because Western and Eastern societies are very different in terms of like, regulation, censorship, what's appropriate, what's not. So I can't speak to that. What I could speak to is, are we taking things too far? Are critics arguing that hyperrealized sexual characters for attention, detracting for story and gameplay? I think that's a really good question that oftentimes when we have like when we have these questions, thrown at us, they're often require a little bit of pragmatism. Like when a conversation, you can approach it in different angles and it's a little deeper than most. I feel like us gamers don't do a great job of talking to each other just on the basic things, let alone something that is so deep and kind of philosophical to a degree, right? So, are we taking things too far? Absolutely. There are some weirdos out there that are like, hey, listen, this is what we got. Okay. This game is going to bring back sexy women in our video games. And then you have this other side that's like, hey, listen, I'm on this pedestal, on this podium, and I'm telling you what it is that is appropriate, right? Both sides, though I agree with the pedestal people too a little bit more, are kind of blowing things out of proportion. To me, I can only speak because every time these situations get brought up, I exit the tents and everybody gets mad at me because I refuse to see it as a us versus them. I kind of see this as a Venn diagram. When things are this muddied, there's often a lot of consensus that we don't see because bad actors are housing these conversations for, grift, for profit, for their audience to grow it. So it's like, for me, I'm going to just take a step out of the tent and I'm going to view it as to what I think. So for me, I'm a dude. I'm a guy. Um, do I like to see pretty people in a video game? Sure. Does this game rely on Eve's looks? To an extent, you can make an argument because, like, we've been talking about it for years. Why? Because Eve's a pretty lady and it's memeable, and memes are what sell people nowadays. But is the game good on its own merit outside of Eve? Absolutely, it is. It's fantastic. My rule is this: if a character is great beyond their looks or their design, that's a great character that I could get lost into. Because, like, while people are pretending to be all high and mighty, we were all oogling at Tifa just a month ago.
I was going to bring her up. Suit, yeah.
Right. But the difference between Tifa and Eve is at this very moment, Celebrity hasn't come out yet. We kind of know Tifa, right? We've all built these relationships in our head of Tifa and what she means to us. So we could see past the obvious thirst trap bait that is, her in a bikini, and we go, oh, right, but like Tifa, like she's X, Y, and Z. She's probably one of the most well-written characters in that game. So we give it an excuse or a pass. Is that great? No. But like Ada Wong's a terrific character, right? Saga Anderson, wonderful character. Hell, I want to like the entire cast of Baldur's Gate 3. Okay? Why? Why do I want to romance Karlach? It's not because she's a mommy. It's because she's a really good character. She's got horns. She looks like the devil. And I'm like, I want to marry that. That's my wife, right? It's because Karlach's a really compelling character. So if this game is all about just like thirst traps and like getting Eve in questionable positions, and Eve is nothing more than just a doll that we control, yeah, it's weird. But to me, if there's more to Eve than just her, that's fine. It's also very weird to me because I could go, and when I look at this game, I'm like, yeah, she's pretty cool game. Like, that's what I'm interested in. When I take a look at like, where was it going with this? When I take a look at like something like a Final Fantasy, I'm taking a look at the mechanics, not so much the character design. So for me, it's very broad, and you could draw your own conclusions. And if you're not comfortable because of her design or not, I'm not gonna get you either way. But I do feel like it is weird when I see people putting out tweets of just like, hey, here's a 30-minute shot of like Eve stuck on a ladder as if she's stuck in a washing machine, and I'm just gonna zoom in on the part that you want to see. It's like, that's a little weird. And that's where I feel like the dialogues become so toxic, is that, here's where I was getting with it, is that at the end of the day, what makes it different for me is that this is an actual person's body. Like, she was scanned, and like, this is a real woman's physique. And we are, each and every one of us, just dissecting it. And it's odd. I get it. She's attractive. She's pretty, but like, it's I don't know. The relationship that some people have with it is kind of odd. So that's where I stand with it. Again, I think it's all about the character, and then the design comes afterwards. If the design makes sense, then who cares? If the story makes sense, who cares? The last example I'll bring up, and then my TED Talk's all over. Take a look at, like, for example, Judy from Cyberpunk. We all fell in love with Judy from Cyberpunk. Let's not kid ourselves here. I made female V because I wanted to romance Judy from Cyberpunk. But what makes her like so appealing is not so much her looks when you get into the game. It's the conversations you have with her. It's her side missions. It's the text that she sends you. It's the phone conversations. It's the conversations you're having, the intimate conversations you're having when everything wraps up. I talked to Ains about this when I was playing Cyberpunk. He's like, it's one of, and I agree. It's one of the most realistic just depictions of a relationship, just not even in game, just in medium. Because in media, because it just feels like, yeah, she's an actual person. So when I go, oh my God, Judy, it's because of the texts, it's because of the phone calls, it's because of the dialogue options that I choose with her, more so on just like, yeah, she's an attractive Latina, my weakness. So that was my TED talk. Did I hit all the points?
Yeah.
Are we safe?
I would like to just add a couple things. I think there is a line when it comes across. Like, I'm not super into this hyper sexualized version of Eve. Being an uncle to 3 girls, like I do worry about how women are
They're
portrayed.
gonna walk in.
Well, not for that, but like I'm a little worried about how they see women portrayed in media that I consume and whatnot. But I also know that this isn't like a new thing, and for them to pick this as like the defining moment, like I remember Elliot Page in, what was it, Beyond Two Souls, where they had a naked version of her of their in-game character, but it was like not in the game. It was just there in the assets, like off the side of the screen, and like, why was that even there? Right. Like there are certain things that some developers have done that do it just for that shock value, or just to like cater to that audience, which I don't love. But at the end of the day, I'm never being like, man, those characters are ugly, I'm not playing that game.
Yeah.
That is not how I choose my games. Absolutely not. I fall in love with the characters because how the journey we're on, the conversations we have, like Mass Effect 2, all those loyalty missions and stuff, like getting to know these characters and companions, and that to me is what makes a good narrative and a good game, bar none. Whatever they look like, they look like in certain ways.
I fell in love with Tali, for God's sakes. You know?
Yeah.
She's wearing a helmet. I don't know what's in there. She could be a fish. No, yeah, I think you're right. At the end of the day,
you bringing up Tifa, although, is a great thing too, because everyone was okay with that.
Yeah.
And how that swimsuit pick was like,
we're picking and we're choosing.
Cover of every article that was written about the game.
Exactly.
Kind of thing.
And then like those same people, like, I'm standing on this pedestal. It's like, maybe you take a step back because the receipts are there. So it's like, let's not pretend we're high and mighty. I get it. Like, I think we've come a long way in as well in terms of like character design. But at the same exact time, it's like the Fable 3 character can exist alongside Eve.
Yeah.
Doesn't detract from either one of those games. The weird fascination that we have on looks is a bit much. I understand. You want to play as like, I want to play as like a strong, dude when I'm playing Elden Ring. But like, that's where it kind of ends for me. The over sexualization part's like, all right, relax. I'm 32 years old.
I also know we're not perfect either. Like every week we say respectfully at some point over being a character, but like,
and respectfully for Eve. But it's like there's a point of like, that's not
the main selling point.
Exactly.
Like, that's not why we're buying this game. We're not going to an adult sex shop to buy Stellar Blade.
No.
We're going to
or
a
the
Best
mommy
Buy.
pillow of. Yeah.
It's a very subjective thing, right? Some people want all the booty, some people don't want any of the booty. But at the end of the day, what I care about is, how is the gameplay? Are the characters good? How is Eve as an actual character? If that's good, which so far it seems like there's actually more to her than just her outfits. Like, it seems like a good character. And I think part of it as well is just that we don't really have much else to talk about right now. Like, the game's not out yet. We don't know what the characters are like. We don't know what the story is like. So I'm sure once the game comes out, people will start to talk about it.
And to that as well, like, we don't know, maybe at some point in the middle of the game, it does become super sexual out of nowhere.
True. Or maybe she starts wearing a turtleneck sweater.
Okay, who knows?
Who knows? So like, yeah, I think, and it comes into that, like, we don't have much to talk about just in games right now. And so it's just like, well, what's something that's controversial that we can yell at each other about? And it seems like this is it. part of me thinks like the console wars was maybe the thing to distract from these conversations.
That
I'm
they've
saying
always been
bring 'em
happening,
back.
but we're worried about
Exactly,
one
but I'm
battle.
saying maybe we bring it back because I'm tired of these conversations.
Now it's the Stellar Yams Wars.
Exactly. Begun the Stellar Yams has.
What side do you fall on?
Oh God. Rule of 2 there is. All right. Drellish, thank you so much for the question. So can it as well. Seriously, I love these questions where we get like philosophical on games. It's great, man. Yeah, awesome. Excellent. That said, guys, are we holding on to something? Anything? Absolutely at all? You can hold a water cup.
A car
Jeremy,
charger from my car that I
charger.
don't own anymore.
Okay, cool. Pure Life. There you go. That's good water.
Yeah.
I'm holding a Ghostbusters cup yet again. It's become my favorite cup. All right. Prepare the drop. Here are the latest steals and deals coming to the PlayStation storefront. Oh, wow. There's not a lot. April 2nd. They've learned. They're like, no April 1st games. April 2nd. Saviorless on PS5. There is a review up on Season Gaming on YouTube. Ains, you owe me $5. Patreon.com/PS Trophy Room.
Is that how
Ains.
that works?
I mean,
I'm going to
it's how
start
it
shouting
says
out
in the
a whole
terms.
bunch of other people and just be like, hey, I
It's-
talked to you about it. Give me $5.
Exactly. I mentioned your content, $5. Patreon.com/PS Trophy Room. He's
Tommy,
talking to
be
robot.
prepared for some DMs. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
We're going to bring you up on future podcasts. And I'll be like, hey, Kami, guess what? We talked about
There you
it.
go. Come on.
$5.
Withering Rooms on PS5. That's on 6-1 Indie. Mike Towndress. Give me $10.
We'll give you the Chuck E. Cheese credit like we gave to Greg that one time.
Thank you. On the 3rd of April, Deceit 2 on PS5. On April 4th, Freedom Planet 2 on PS5, PS4, and Turbo Golf Racing on PS5.
That looks like a fun time. I'm not going to lie.
I'll take your word.
Also, before we forget, to add to the PS Plus day ones of Tales and Dave the Diver, Another Crab's Treasure is also out end of April. I think the same day as Tales. So again, it's a busy week and a half there.
Very busy.
Also-
Very
Was that on
busy.
PS Plus as well?
I don't think so.
No,
Okay.
it's on Game Pass though.
Yeah. But
Okay.
like, shout out to their April Fool's video. Go look at Aggro Crab on Twitter.
Okay.
They were like, are you familiar with the game, Kami?
I think I've heard of it. Is it on Steam as well?
Yeah. So it is a Souls game, but you're a
Oh,
little
really?
crab.
Okay.
It's a whole lot of fun, and Aggro Crab has a lot of fun with their marketing. And so for April Fools, they're like, we heard you that you don't like a colorful Souls game. It's not what it should be. So here's a filter for a real Souls game. It just makes everything dark. Like, turn on more depression mode, and then the crab starts frowning. And then eventually,
Nice.
like, you know what? F it. We're just going to throw in an old Souls level here. And like, bravo. I love it so much.
Bravo.
That's hilarious.
All right, Kyle. It's our favorite segment, but sadly, the last segment of the night. Kami, we're going to try to yeehaw in unison. Are you ready for this? It's time for the Sony Pony Express.
Oh.
Like the enthusiasm.
That was
Kami.
good.
I like
That was
it.
good.
I like it.
Katie writes in, hey guys, hope you guys are well. It's been a minute since I've sent a question in. Life has just been busy with me getting used to the new job. Can safely say now that it was one of the best decisions I made. Life is good. Great to hear, Katie. So my question is, what is your favorite opening, middle, and end to a game? As always, keep up the great work. I love you guys and Kami. I've been a fan of your work for a long time now. Really appreciate what you do. Thank you, Katie.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Favorite opening, middle, and end to a game?
I got this. It's very easy.
Yeah.
Immediately hit me once I read this question.
Mhm.
Last of Us, the original.
Mm.
Ooh, that's a
Greatest
good one.
opening. The middle with Ellie and the bow, the rabbit, and then end. Need I say more? Last of Us. What say you, Kami?
So is it all one game? Can we like split them up?
You can split them up if you want.
Okay. Well, since you took Last of Us, Ghost of Tsushima also has an incredible opening. That title drop is so hype.
Yeah, it is.
Oh my god, I'm gonna watch it again.
Yeah.
Just like to
Oh
feel
man,
something.
I hope we get some Ghost of Tsushima 2 news this year.
I gotta
Jeez.
replay
At the
it.
showcase. Yeah.
It's on my
So
list.
good.
It's coming to PC soon, so can't wait for that. Middle, I don't know. I'd have to think about it some more. I guess Bloodborne has a really good middle 75%.
Okay.
I think the ending is good too, but I don't know. What's a good ending?
What do you think? What do you think?
What do you
What's
guys
the
think is a good
ending that
ending?
like hit you? Could be a
I
God of
mean,
War.
I can hop in.
Okay,
I
please.
think my
Go
opening
ahead.
and ending are the same in its FF7 remake.
Mm.
Okay,
As a massive fan, seeing how they opened up remake and it was just like shot for shot and looked gorgeous and the music was great, but then adding a little twist, and then to the end of that game, how it ends, and be like, they're doing what now? And being excited for what Rebirth is and whatever the third game is. I that's super memorable to me. The middle one is tough.
Right.
It's hard to pick like a middle of a game that I love, but like Last of Us is good. Like you say, the bow.
Yeah.
I think of the scene where Ellie runs off after meeting up with Tommy for the first time,
Ooh,
and then
okay.
they have that scene in the bedroom where
Mhm.
she was like, "Everyone left me except for you." Like that is,
Oh,
whew, iconic.
oh,
That's really good. You know what? I will say for that one, I'll say part 2 as middle, without spoiling it. The way they
yes.
they switch when they go Seattle Day
Somewhere else.
1,
To two.
you know.
I think Last of Us 2 has a great middle, but the ending kind of is pacing issues and stuff like that.
Sure.
Yeah.
I
Sure,
thought of
sure.
a good one for the ending though.
Okay.
That is the original BioShock. Amazing
Ooh,
ending.
Oh,
Probably the
God,
best
yes.
plot twist ever, I think.
Good
God
call.
damn right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you? God damn kindly. What a. Yeah. Even like in Last of Us Part 2, like you're my people. Hits
Yeah.
me every time. All right.
God, video games are cool, everybody.
Video
You
games
know?
are great. What are we talking about? You know?
Let's just celebrate games with the people who make them. You know, we're
Yeah.
lucky. We're so lucky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We could be
Last
playing
of Us
with
2 is an amazing game, by the way. For
Oh,
the
yeah,
record.
yeah.
Amazing.
I love that game.
Amazing.
We could be playing with
Yeah.
sticks and hoops like the kids in the Dust Bowl era, you know, but we're
Right.
playing video games.
Come on.
Oh, yeah. Ghettoberry writes in, "Hey guys, an extra special guest. I'm pretty sure this has been asked before in the past, but I will ask again in case your minds or opinions have changed. You booked the biggest cinema screen locally for a day, but you can only take 3 games with you. What games do you take to play in this massive IMAX screen and why? I'm taking," this is Ghettoberry, "Uncharted 3. The cruise ship plane scenes need to be seen on a big screen. Resident Evil 2 and 3 remakes. I'm counting them as one game. Sorry, not sorry. And the Guardians of the Galaxy game. So it's like I'm watching and playing a Guardians film.
Oh, that's cool.
Wish I could have easily said any Last of Us game. Seeing Nemesis and Jill play cat and mouse with each other on the big screen will leave me choking on my popcorn. And speaking of which, what food you sneaking in? And is it true the USA are more strict on bringing food into the cinema than the UK? Take care, guys, and love always."
They don't give a shit anymore, man. As long as you're in there.
Nah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I once
Now-
brought chicken nuggets in my pocket. They didn't care.
Now, real talk.
They
I'm
don't
gonna
even
be
check
real.
anymore.
No.
I brought me and the boys to go see Godzilla the other day, right?
Oh,
And-
the one with the Infinity Gauntlet and he suplexes.
Dude, it's so
Okay.
so goddamn
Okay.
dumb. Now, am I an awful person that where I snuck the candy because I got them both candy? I snuck them in one of my clients' seizure bags so
Oh,
that
boy.
like they wouldn't check. I'm like, there's medicine in here, life-saving medicine. You gotta really take out medicine, you monster. What, am I not allowed to bring medicine in? Am I bad for that, Kyle?
Borderline.
Eh, I
Not
feel
the
like
worst
the ends
excuse.
justify
No,
the
so-
means. Right, Kyle?
I will say what's worse than movie theaters checking for outside things is like ballparks. Like sporting stadiums. Like, I granted, yes, safety issues, absolutely.
Yeah.
But just
Sure.
allow them to bring in a bottle of water. Like, the
Yeah.
fact that you can't do that is wild to me.
Mm-mm.
You
Mm-mm.
have to dump it all out.
Yep.
Okay, what games am I
And
bringing?
then charge you like $12 for a bottle of water. It's ridiculous.
It's funny Ghettoberry asked this question because I was literally thinking about this morning. Remember, heat of COVID, like they were just like, "Hey, listen, $500, you get the theater for a day. You and
Well,
your friends hook up your PlayStation."
I asked you at PAX at the TV screen at the Westin. was like, hey, right now, what game do you want to play on that screen?
Bloodborne.
Yeah, right.
It becomes very easy for me. But we said Bloodborne too much, so I'm gonna say
Yeah.
Elden Ring because it is the perfect game. The
I would
second game.
say, okay,
for
you
it.
want to do all three? Go ahead.
Yeah, no, Kami, you go next. What's the second game?
I was gonna say Alan Wake 2 would be a great
Ooh,
one. I feel like that game's
yes.
already like half a movie anyway, so it would just look amazing on a big screen.
Yes.
So
God damn, yeah. All right,
It's a
that's a good one.
good
continue.
call.
That's good. No, that's good. Kyle, what's the third game?
I'm also not going to say Rebirth just because I've talked about it a lot. But we'll stay first party.
Okay.
I want to fight a Thunderjaw on the big screen in Horizon.
Oh, how towering that's gonna look.
And,
That
and
would be
just
amazing.
and just like the sound with like the IMAX audio.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ooh, hearing them like the roaring, that would be incredible.
That's fair. Because honestly, I was thinking Spider-Man because I'm like, oh, you're playing
Spider-Man's
Spider-Man
great.
on it. But then it's like, but I've watched Spider-Man on the
Sure.
big screen.
Yeah.
So like I haven't watched Horizon on the big screen, at least not yet.
I got another
Horizon
one.
goes. Okay, go for it. Fourth
Doom.
game.
That would be a
Yes.
great one.
Again, the soundtrack blaring at you the whole time.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
You're
and it
gonna go
actually feels
deathless.
amazing to play, so
Mhm.
Yeah.
that'd be fun.
All right. I'm in. As the kids say, bet.
Let's do it. We're all pulling together, renting a
Let's
theater.
do it, man. Let's come
Let's
out.
do it. Let's go. Let's go. All right, Kyle. Ready for this one?
Last question from the Sony Pony Express. Yeehaw.
Yeah.
Papa Taz writes in, hey guys, hope y'all are doing well. What small details in a game made you love the video game a little more? I've been playing Death Stranding, and on my birthday this past Saturday, I booted the game up to see a happy birthday message from Bridges themselves. Fun little detail for sure, and made my love for the game even stronger.
Kojima
I always
does
love
that.
when games do those little happy
Mhm.
birthday messages.
Yep.
Yeah.
Shout out to Arkham City and Calendar Man. If you change the date for a holiday and go visit him in his cell, he will say a line about that holiday that you were playing in.
Nice.
Oh, really?
Yes. It's very
my
cool.
gosh. Oh, wow. That's crazy. Small detail. I mean, I said Bloodborne enough.
I mean, I alluded
But-
to it with Stellar Blade. Like, I love when, like, Last of Us Part 2 did it, where you are picking up items and you're actually picking them up and putting them in, or, like, reloading and you can see it happen,
Mhm.
and bows
Like
and
Last
arrows
of Us Part 2
actually...
with the PSP and Hotline Miami.
Yes, yeah, like,
Yeah.
things like that I generally love, and then, like, little hints at, like, other Easter eggs to other games. Like, I think of I mean, they're pretty forthcoming, but like in Ragnarok in 2018, when they give poems of other first-party games, or coming across character names that are similar, I love those kinds of things.
Yeah, I like that. Tommy, you got any nice little like extra hidden details that make you fall in love with the game?
I guess the easy answer is the rope physics in Last of Us 2.
Ooh,
Yes.
I don't know why that sold people on the game so much, like pre-launch, but that was so hyped when we saw it. So just Last of Us 2 has so much great attention to detail in general. So
yeah. Nathan
That's a
Drake
great
when he gets wet,
yep.
it's pretty good.
Yep. Halo Infinite's fruit physics.
Oh, puddles in Spider-Man.
Come on, give me
Auto
'em.
reflections.
Well,
Yeah.
like, no joke, when you zoom in on the Insomniac suits and you can see the ribbing of the suits, like, it looks like it's
Crazy.
rubber. My God.
Crazy. Well, listen, y'all. That's been the trophy room this week. I want to thank our special guest, Kami, for dropping in. Sir, is there anything you'd like to shout out before we get on out of here, sir?
Yeah, guys, go ahead and follow me. My Twitter and social media should be underneath.
Mhm.
And thanks to PlayStation Trophy Room for having me, and I had a great time. So thanks,
Yeah,
guys.
and
Yeah.
listen,
Anytime.
thank you so much for everything that you do. You do great work here on the internet. And again, I always want to spotlight that. And you
Appreciate
can
that,
find Kami and everything he does down in the description below. Kyle, is there anything you'd like to spotlight before we get on out of here, sir?
Sure. If you want to keep up to date on all the latest and greatest when it comes to indie games, go check out 61indie.com. We just did our fourth showcase or whatever it is. Already hit a ton of views, which is amazing. We highlighted 30. Oh my god, we just did it. 39 indie games.
Nice.
Doing our own little video game conference, as you will. It was really, really awesome. We're already planning for August. So go check that out. Fun fact that about Twitter that Mike did as an April Fool's joke. If you go to 61 Indie on Twitter, it still says 61 AAA, and Twitter won't let us change it back. It keeps giving us an error. So, hey, Elon, if you want to fix that, that'd be swell. Because joke's over. April Fool's is over. Like, let us change it back. And as always, Mr. K-Step pretty much everywhere. I love and appreciate you all so very much for everything. And like I said, I'll get more sappy later.
All right, fair enough. You can find me over at Mr. Badbit on Twitter, where Elon shadow banned me again, so he's too busy shadow banning me to fix your problems there, bud. You can find the show over at PS Trophy Room on Twitter. You can find this show, The Trophy Room, a PlayStation podcast, wherever you find your podcast service of choice. And listen, right now the feeds are all amok. Google Podcasts all of a sudden no more. So really, any help you like, you share it. Rate us 5 stars if you enjoyed the content that we make. It helps elevate the show, gets us on new and trending lists. It really does help spotlight the show in a major way. So if you could go rate us 5 stars over on Apple Podcasts, over on Spotify, because apparently over the last few weeks, a ton of podcast services have just gone offline. So yeah, any way to find or to get people to find us again, as they search for new services, that would be greatly appreciated. You can follow us over on patreon.com/PS Trophy Room to get you hundreds of exclusive shows, hundreds of hours of exclusive content. You get to participate in all the monthly stuff that we do, like By the Players, which is available to all, but patrons get first dibs on their seats. And all that jazz. So with all that said, and with all that out of the way, everybody, we love y'all. Keep hunting and keep playing PlayStation.
Bye.
See you later.
And we are off.